Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
There aren't any Jasons 12 and under. That's a dead name.
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
How many kids do you hear, hey, Marky? It might be almost to the point of Ruth.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
On 100.5 ESPN.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
The ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wilde and Tausch.
And ESPN Madison on YouTube.
It's Wilde and Tausch, isn't it?
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
One of my favorite days of the offseason, the first day of rookie minicamp edition. Although we only get to talk to them once. The locker room is being renovated, so we won't be in there. Can't talk to any of the undrafted rookie free agents who I'm intrigued by. Other than that, though, and we only get to see one practice. Other than that, I'm thrilled edition. Jesse really wants to get Tausch's opinion on my Isaiah Simmons story. He's put it on the show sheet now.
I've been looking forward to it all week long.
3 days running edition.
I mean, you practically called him out by name in the headline.
Oh, yeah. And I called him out in a tweet, too.
Who'd you call out?
You.
You called me out in a headline?
Well,
I'll explain.
It felt like he did.
Yeah, right. I didn't.
Okay.
I was inspired by you for a headline. Is more accurate. And
did you sing it, or did you do a video?
I did a film version of it. It was amazing, but people didn't like it as much. And we got to get Tausch's take on Jaire Alexander edition of Wilde and Tausch. Tausch is back again on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430. ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter?
Yes.
Facebook?
No.
YouTube?
2 of them.
Nice. And, of course, everything you need in the all-new, all redesigned, all free, all customizable, all awesome ESPN Wisconsin app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. I will be headed to Lambeau Field a little bit later today to see the draft class that we will be speaking to. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, and from a location so undisclosed that we're using the handsome photograph of him on the sideline from his playing days, which somewhere in here Evan Cohen would make some wisecrack about, that's where he spent a lot of time, even though he didn't.
Oh.
He is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you? Where are you? Why can't we see you?
Okay, so I forgot my iPad. This one's on me, Jesse. I'm not blaming you. I'm going to be accountable.
Nice change of pace.
I am giving a speech later this afternoon up in Appleton, so I'm going to come back. I'm going to do my show. I'm going to do the show from here. And I, for whatever reason, didn't put my iPad in my bag. So this is on me, but I'm up here in Appleton. I'm going to be doing the show, and then we'll knock out a big speech. That's kind of where I'm at.
What are you going to be talking about?
Teamwork.
Teamwork,
making
impacts.
the dream work. TikTok and how it affects your bottom line. And it's affected my bottom line in a bottom way. That's no TikTok.
Here's what you do when you want something done. You call Jesse, you say, hey, do this, and then him and Jason figure it out.
Is that how this works? Is that really the road that
or
Teamwork 9 to noon.
Or more accurately, you call Jesse, then Jesse delegates whatever you've told him to do, and then somebody else gets it done for us.
Okay, well, hey,
Teamwork.
we all have to know how it works. But teamwork, yes, and that's how you have individual success, Jesse, is teamwork. That makes the dream work.
It does
I've heard
indeed.
that,
Did
yeah.
you come
That's
up
the
with that, or
premise.
was that Bob Moore?
I think Bob Moore sent me that on a Friday right around the end of the show is typically how that works.
Well, we're excited for your speech. Will there be? Is this like the Matt LaFleur Q&A session at the Tundra Trio that you can find in its entirety on the new ESPN Wisconsin app? Is this where you do the speech and then later on it becomes available on demand,
No.
or is this exclusive to the people in the room?
Exclusive only. I don't even think there's video. I don't know, but it's exclusive only. So I can have someone give you the highlights, and you can put it in a Sports Center if you want, Jesse. That's what we could do with this.
One other question, if I may.
Sure.
I was talking with somebody at the Tundra Trio during the draft, and they big fans of the show, but they asked me about how you always wear a hat.
Yep.
And I said, yeah, I don't think I've seen him without a hat since he went into the Packers Hall of Fame and I went to the induction ceremony.
Okay.
When you go do a speech, do you stay on brand and go hat, or do you cut your hair, comb your hair? And
There's no hat on speeches typically. So no hat. Church, speech.
Church and speeches, those are the two
Yeah, and a
places
matter
where
of
you're
fact, I was
hat-free.
going to ask you this. So Guarding Against Cancer has their big event tonight. And Sarah works very closely. She's
got invited.
Well, it's because you never show up. And
never get
so
invited.
we've supported the Guarding. It's a great initiative. Greg does a great job along
does.
with Michelle. It's great. And
Yep.
they always have fun themes, right? And sometimes we just are able to go to the Thursday night pre-party, which is really fun. It's sometimes out at his house or somewhere else. Obviously, I'm going tonight with Sarah and some friends, and it is a garden theme party.
Went to a garden party, hung out
Can
with
I
Greg
dress-
Garden, my friends.
Can I dress as a gardener?
Absolutely. You would
So-
be the hit of the party.
So if I dress as a gardener, because
Like a
what I don't
floppy
want to
hat, overalls.
that's kind. I don't know if I'd go over.
Bring one of those kneeler things that
you gotta
that
have
are
a
made
rake.
of like
I
foam.
was going to say a bucket. You got to have a bucket.
I think a rake is the most important part
rake.
of gardening.
So you can't. So no, you got to get the hand tools.
Yeah,
Right, like that little
a
gouger
hand rake.
thing.
Yes.
it's
And the
gotta have a
hand
little-
rake,
yeah.
the
Jason,
shovel.
I didn't mean like a long armed
Okay.
rake. I'm talking
Good.
like a hand rake. And I think Jesse's
Long-armed.
right. I think Jesse's right that the bucket is a part of it. I'm not a bucket guy in that regard. But I think the theme is garden, where you're like, oh, you get all bright colors and, like sunshiny stuff. And
That's
I've
you.
never been to a garden party, but I do like gardening. I mean, I don't like actually do. I
No,
like
you don't do gardening.
If I may, you shut me off. I like the concept of gardening. I don't want to go out. If you would have let me finish,
I
I'm
like
not
the
interested-
concept of working
I'm not
out.
sure you've gardened anything.
I farmed for a long time, Jesse. Don't
that's
you dare.
farming
No,
and
it's
gardening
similar.
are very
Very
different.
similar. It's
Very
not, but
Tell us
different.
about
we have
Grouch.
we have a garden at our house. It's one of those elevated ones, and we get peppers and tomatoes and stuff like that.
And what is
But-
your role in that?
It's pretty minimal. It's a very
Pretty
minimal.
minimal
And
as in
here's
none?
the problem, and this is the part that you guys don't understand. I would garden
Sounds a
a
little
lot more
condescending.
had I not blown my knee out twice. You can't garden if you can't kneel, and I can't kneel.
I thought it was an
left knee-
elevated garden.
you still have to kneel to get down there. You got to be one with the garden. You can't be stooped over. Now I want to blow my back out gardening. The inability for me to kneel on a consistent basis has limited my gardening capabilities. It's the truth. And it's one of the, everybody's, oh, it's great being a professional athlete. You make money, you get to do all this fun stuff. And that's all great. That's fun. But one of the biggest drawbacks, other than health as you get older,
I could
is
never
that
be
you
a
can't.
gardener.
I can't be a gardener, and that is something that I think.
My
I hope
lifelong
you
dream.
I
Being a
hope you
gardener.
guys I hope you guys understand and get when you're making fun of me that I can't
feel
garden.
so bad for you.
You guys don't look at the big picture that I would love nothing more than to be a phenomenal gardener.
Tend to my tomatoes.
And my knee injury
grow
does
my
not allow
peppers.
me to garden.
Walk on at Wisconsin, Packers Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, radio voice of the Badgers. But poor guy can't get a gig as a gardener anywhere.
I thought
I
someday
can't go
I'd
out
have
and
a
tend
show
to
on HGTV.
Can't go out to the sunflowers in the backyard.
I would hope that you guys are being serious with this because it's a stark reminder when my knee. I'm still able to gut through pickleball, but it's a stark reminder when gardening season comes that old T. It's one of the things that's been taken away from him is gardening.
You've never once shared this in the 9 years of this show.
Maybe because it's too painful. Is that possible? Do you ever think about that, Jesse? Well, anyways, so what is garden attire and what should I rock tonight? Do I go with the gardening? I don't think they'll let me bring a gardening tool in. And is that in the spirit of what they're doing? Is being a gardener part of the garden party?
So, garden party attire, as I am looking at this, it's not necessarily bright colors. I see some dudes in like a light colored shirt and like a tan sport coat.
Okay.
Or khaki pants and like a blue sport coat. So
I feel like sunglasses are a must if it's a garden party.
Yeah, both these guys I'm looking at
Yep.
are wearing sunglasses.
Yep.
It feels like dare I say Kentucky Derby lights, like without the silly hats and stuff.
Okay.
Kind
so
of that
that's-
color palette.
That makes sense. Okay.
So it's, now if you can, I'm seeing this here now. A lot of these sport coats appear to have some sort of a pattern on the inside that are fun with flowers and such.
Yeah.
I see maybe some of the kind of ugly golf pants that are different types of patterns on them.
Seersuckers, right? Those what those are called, like the seersucker vibe with the stripes and the. That's another thing. I don't even want to get into the fact I can't clam. They're not going to let me clam anymore either.
Oh, it's a tale of woe.
Tough being you. Jerry Odd says he'd eat a tool belt with garden tools and a big floppy hat.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think that's the vibe, and I don't mind I'll like when I'm in Japan. I don't mind standing out.
Now wait a minute! Don't lie about that either. You were uncomfortable being the big guy in that country.
No, I was uncomfortable because I was nervous about chair structure and everything else. It just was crowded. I wasn't uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable because it's crowded. I'm not uncomfortable because people are staring at me. That happens. What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
It's true.
So no,
Apparently
it's
nothing,
the chair.
yeah.
It was chair structure and crowded people is what made me uncomfortable, not people chuckling and giving me that look like, what the blankety blank is this guy doing?
Look at Godzilla
That doesn't
over
make
there.
me. That doesn't make me.
So I'm seeing a few people in YouTube or on the text line. They're saying you should model yourself after Bill Murray in Caddyshack. That should be the look you go for.
But that's
Like the groundskeeper.
So be real dirty, like have a bunch of dirt.
Yeah, like, well,
I don't
you
know.
can't go kneel out in the garden. That's
I don't
well
think old
established,
girl's
but-
old girl ain't gonna be on board with that. I got to come up with a happy medium. So I'll keep taking requests. If somebody can give me a vibe that I'm looking for, I think I'll be interested.
It's unfortunate. I don't think we can rush these pants to you, but I've come across a pair of pants that I think would be right on point. It does appear that women like Sarah would have a lot more options in terms of their attire for this. So it's a little more challenging for you. Your Junius Costin crushed velvet purple sport coat is not going to work.
It's only a Christmas coat.
I have to admit, I don't dress up very often, as you know, but I think I may have come across a pair of pants that I would love to wear. It's like kind of a rainbow pattern that I think would be perfect for tonight. But unfortunately, I don't think Shinesty, which I'm not familiar with that website, can get them to you quickly enough. So you will have to make do with what you've got. I don't think Gardo's intent is for you to show up like Bill Murray. Oh, getting get stoned to bejesus.
Have a little gopher next to you. That could actually be pretty fun.
No gophers at a Badger event, Jesse. Come on.
All right, so Carl Spackler will not be in attendance tonight, but
There's a Spartan there tonight. Izzo's going to be there.
There is. Tommy Tugboat. Yep.
Is that what they call Tom? Is it Tommy Tugboat?
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I call him Tommy Tugboat.
Never heard that before.
I think that's a new one.
All right. Well, you weren't uncomfortable in Japan. You say you won't become uncomfortable tonight, even though you don't know how to dress for this garden party with Gardo.
Garden against cancer, am I right?
That's good, Jesse. That's good.
But it's also, on top of everything else, a new month.
It's end of April. No
And
more commercials.
No more. Everybody's talking about it. So it's time for a new Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin communique.
Let's see how we do.
Good luck to you, sir.
You know what? There's no better time to start gardening. It's May. Spring is sprung, and there's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because Pella is offering up to not 1, not 2, not 4, not 5, 6 years of 0% financing. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how she does this, but she does. Set your free in-home consultation today. You commit nothing at this point. They're going to listen to your vision. They're going to suggest the Pella materials and those customizations to make your home a reality. Again, 0 financing, up to 6 years. Certain restrictions do apply. This deal ends May 31st of 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
So here's the deal. We need to spend some time on this, because subsequent to our program ending, for those of you that remember the end of, was it Monday's show? Last time Tausch was on, he was packaging Giannis and Dame to New Orleans.
Still had a game to play.
And if we're being honest, not for a guy who proclaims himself an NBA expert, not
on the court. On the court.
Not demonstrating a very clear understanding
I didn't say I was
of
a
how
business analyst.
trades in the National Basketball Association work.
Bobby Marks Tauscher.
And so we got a lot of feedback from our friend Justin Garcia, who on the private talk and text line tried to explain how errant Tausch's opinion was and how unrealistic his solve everything by trading your 2 best players, including a guy that probably won't play until 2027, was. So we do need to revisit that before we get into the Packers as we get ready for the first day of the rookie minicamp. That is ahead with Tausch back in the saddle again. After a couple of days away, it is Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
With the calendar turning to May and the spring weather getting nicer every day, I'm feeling good on this Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. Well, if the changing weather is kicking you into gear to get going on a long-awaited paint project, Holman Lindsay should be your first stop. They make the search for paint and stain in the Madison area super easy. Plus, you can also get connected with the Holman Lindsay Pro Painter to help with your biggest projects. I can't recommend them enough. Just stop into any Holman Lindsay area location, ask, and they'll connect you with the pro that best fits what your project calls for. And Holman Lindsay is the only paint made to withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. It's why we always say Wisconsin's best painters use Wisconsin's best paint. Check them out at HallmanLindsay.com. That's HallmanLindsay.com. Holman Lindsay, great paint, great people, and stay tuned for Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion, or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe. A special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab. That's his favorite. And the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe. June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo at the Bridges. On Saturday, May 3rd, play in a 2- or 4-person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes with a cart, prizes, and a Mexican feast. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
The last time we heard from him on the program, though, he was suggesting a package deal to send Giannis and Dame to New Orleans. As our Bucks buddy Justin Garcia privately explained to us later, that is not going to work.
So first off, and you can check the tape, don't misconstrue what I said.
Okay.
I said Giannis to New Orleans, no doubt. And then we get a Zion back as, part of it. This is not.
He's never hurt.
This is not going to be a 1-for-1 deal. This needs to be 3-4 teams involved. And my point on this was, if you're going to trade Giannis, you need to get picks and you need to gut everything else. And the only way you're going to ever get rid of Dame is with the chip of Giannis. And that's where another team jumps in, maybe takes it on to get picks. It has to be, this isn't going to be some simple transaction. This would be a big boy deal. And if Giannis wants out and he tells you this is where I want to go, all right, well, that means that's where he has to go. But that doesn't mean those are the only teams going to be involved. And if you're going to gut this thing, Dame needs to be a part of it as far as getting out of that deal within this structure, because you're right. His trade value is going to be limited at best. But Giannis's isn't. And that was my point when I explained the trade opportunity.
Yeah, but you would acknowledge now that it's not feasible. It's not how it works. So you can't do it.
What do you mean it's not how it works? No, not with one team. There's 3 and 4 team trades, Jason. You can do it.
Okay, I just felt like it was fairly clearly explained to us that you actually can't do it. But that's fine. The bottom line is that it all comes down to, and we're going to be inundated with this for months and months and months on end, which will be, does Giannis want to leave or not? Because I don't think, and I listened to Bucks talk in the aftermath of the Bucks' final loss in Game 5, which was rough. I don't think in any way the Bucks are going to say, we need to hit the reset button. We're going to trade Giannis whether he wants to be traded or not. I don't think that's the case here.
That will not happen, no.
So it's only if he wants to leave. And I do not want to be one of those shows that devotes all kinds of oxygen to the theoretical Giannis wants out. When he wants out, great. If that happens, I am going to choose to believe it won't happen.
It's not great. FYI.
Well, great. We can talk about it then. I don't feel the need to constantly live in this realm of fear that he's going to desert us like so many other great players have over the years. All right. I don't want to say
Just
that.
Wait a second. But besides Kareem, who else has deserted us? Gary
Sheffield.
Okay, is he? I mean, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong.
Isn't he in the Baseball Hall of Fame?
I don't know. Let's not equate Gary Sheffield with Kareem and Giannis. Okay, let's just not. Who else has? Who else has kind of bulldogged their way out of the state?
Gary Sheffield, by the way, not in the Hall of Fame. He fell just short, 63.9% of the vote on the last time.
That's too bad.
Too bad.
That is unfortunate for him.
So who else? Like this whole narrative that gets painted because everybody talks about it because they don't want a great player to be in Milwaukee for whatever reason. It hasn't happened that often, guys.
Ray Allen went on and had success elsewhere.
They forced, that was a horrific trade. That wasn't Ray saying, I ain't playing in Milwaukee no more.
Greg Jennings.
All right, Greg Jennings was a free agent that didn't want the contract the Packers. That's not in the same realm. It just isn't. The narrative is fake news. If you want to get into it, it is. It's a fake news narrative. Unless you can explain it out. I mean, I don't think it's true. Do you?
All right. First of all, we have talked about this before. There is an inferiority complex among us Wisconsinites.
Insecurity.
An insecurity. Another great word for it. Thank you. About being abandoned by our best players. Paul Molitor departed.
We couldn't pay him.
Chose not to pay him.
Okay. Well, potato. But yes, that was a tough loss, no doubt. But that wasn't Paul Molitor saying, I'm out of here, you guys stay. And that's not what it was. And that's the narrative that you get. Okay. Who else?
I will have to come up with more. My point is
there's
no. I think there. I think there
not.
Probably are.
Who?
Brett Favre playing for the Vikings.
Well, that was not Brett's decision. It wasn't. Did Brett tell them to go draft Aaron Rodgers? I don't think he did.
That he did not. But did he ever actually intend on being a Packer again when he reported in training camp in 2008? No, he did not. He wanted to force his way to the Vikings, and that's what he wanted.
I went over to the text line to see if anyone chimed in, and all I'm getting is a bunch of people saying Tauscher dresses a gnome for the party tonight.
Okay.
Plus, it allow you to wear a hat.
Yeah, Gnome City. Okay.
All right. Anyway, my point is that I do not want to join the chorus because we'll play a little. Did you hear this a little bit later? That demonstrates this. The playoffs are going on The Lakers, who someone on this panel predicted would be in the finals after the Doncic trade, have been eliminated. And yet all the oxygen is being taken up by, Giannis is going to leave Milwaukee now. Oh, he's got to get out of there. All the national shows are on there. I do not want to join that chorus, so I'm not going to. There's a lot of other stuff going on in the NBA that could be talked about, but this is what people want to talk about. I do not want to be among them. I do want to be told how your prize picks have been going lately because, when you're not here, we don't get updates, and then when we don't get updates, Jesse just has to brag about how much success he's having.
Oh, Jesse, you having success? What's been your winners lately?
Huge winner on Knicks Pistons last night. Put 5 down, 170. That was a nice little win for me last night.
Wait, you put in 5 and you won $170?
No, I won
170.
I was victorious in receiving $70 in return. OG Anunoby took the more there. Jalen Brunson took more with a little devil guy. Boosted him up because he was going to have a big night. He did. Went for 40.
Big-time game-winning shot.
Pistons were going to shoot a lot of threes. Hardaway had projected more than 2.5 made or less than 2.5 made threes. He only made 1. And then Schroeder had more than 3.5 attempted threes. He went for 4. That was 4 for 4. That's 70 in the old pocket for Jesse.
Good job, Paul. Jesse turned his sports knowledge, whatever there is of that, into cash with millions of members. That was a low blow. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to everybody and simple. Pick more or less on at least 2 players, whether it's Adobe, for a shot to win up to not 1,000, but 2,000 times your cash. You can run your game all season long on Prize Picks. It is the best place to win cash while watching sports. You can join millions of users. Sign up today. Cash in on the playoffs with Prize Picks. You got NHL, you got hockey, you got NBA, you have UFL. You got everything at your disposal, whether it's rebounds, points, assists. Take your pick more or less for that shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. You can also win. This is kind of fun. Starting with the play-in round, every lineup you have an opportunity takes 2 ticket sweepstakes. You can win a +1 VIP trip to the ship. A VIP trip to the ship. Download the app today. Use that code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI, $50 instantly after you play that first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
You win a trip to the ship, but you have to dress like a gardener. Carl Spackler. We will get to the Packers, who are kicking off their rookie minicamp today. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Badgers.
There are moments where it feels like you're close, but taken holistically, those look like blips.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
To win a championship, you have to consistently be that team.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
When it comes to your body, you want to trust a doctor, and you want to trust the experts. That's why the only place that you should consider going for GLP-1s and semaglutide is Carbon World Health in Madison, because they're run by Dr. Nestor Rodriguez. They have a workout facility and trainers to help you reach your goals, and they can help with dietary suggestions. The experts for semaglutide and GLP-1s are Carbon World Health. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. A customizable homepage, easier and quicker live listening. Your shows at the touch of a fingertip.
Unless there's a big boy trade coming that I don't see, Green Bay is going to run this thing back, and you hope that these other guys will emerge.
Available in Apple and Android app stores. Your one-stop shop for ESPN Wisconsin. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Download it today.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
We got some trivia coming up with this bizarre schedule that we've had for trivia this week and last week. But I want to get to my headline that may or may not have been influenced by Tausch's feelings about Isaiah Simmons as the Packers' version of Zach Bond, potentially. But before that, speaking of linebackers, the Green Bay Packers did not pick up the fifth-year option on Quay Walker. The narrative surrounding that, and Goody had made this comment multiple times, that they want Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt, whose fifth-year option they did pick up, on their team in 2026, which is when those fifth-year options would be kicking in, and beyond. And yet they did not give Quay his. They want to have a long-term deal with him. It is a curious scenario, in my opinion. Tausch, what do you make of the no fifth-year option for Quay?
Oh, why is it curious to you? Because
if you want a long-term deal with him, you could.
I should have asked that question when I didn't want you to answer right away.
Good analysis.
Thank you. So, Jason, we had this discussion. I don't know if it was right before the draft, but you, as a linebacker, when you get that fifth-year option, is it not accumulation of inside and outside linebacker money?
It was $14.75 million for 2026.
Okay, and I think when you look at it, do I want to pay my starting inside linebacker, my captain, a guy that's got the green dot on their helmet? Do you want that? You want to figure out a way to get a long-term deal done. And I understand why, the fifth-year option, it is a tool that organizations fought hard to keep. They want that. because it controls costs. So I guess looking at it, is this going to, giving Quay that option of having that $15 million next year guaranteed, which is what happens when you give that fifth-year option? Or do you look at it and say, I want to utilize that and get that into a long-term deal? And the question really is he the guy that they want at middle linebacker moving forward? Goody has said that. We've heard him say that. I think everybody last year, before he got dinged up at the end of the year, was saying, man, he's really coming on. He showed maturity. He had some things that happened on the field that can't happen, but that was as a young player, and he is matured, and we're hoping that he continues. You're going to find out if that's the case. I think it's, and I'd be curious, Jason, on your end, to explain why you think they didn't do that.
Yeah, so part of it is financial. There's no two ways about it, because it would have made him like the 6th or 7th highest paid off the ball linebacker in the league, and he has not played to that level. I'm not saying that he has. At the same time, I do find it to be, I don't want to call it disingenuous, but I would also argue, even though he would be like 20th in the pecking order for defensive tackles, that Devontae Wyatt hasn't played at a level commensurate with his nearly $13 million guaranteed money either. Secondly, if you keep saying that you want him long-term and you guarantee him $14.7 million in 2026, there is nothing preventing you from signing him to an extension to replace that after you've exercised the option, and then he gets, I don't know, $17 million guaranteed as part of the extension, right? And that covers what he would have had guaranteed as a one-year salary. It lowers his cap number. It would have been something of a placeholder for a long-term deal, if that's what they want. And what I'm saying is, and again, I understand that people think I don't like Goody. I do think that there have been times where he's been less than forthright about things. But it sounds good to say that you want him long-term and you want to sign him to an extension, and I'm sure they do on their terms. What those terms are, I'm not sure. But the fact of the matter is there was nothing stopping you from giving him the fifth-year option and saying, but look, we want to get a deal done to replace this so we don't have to eat a nearly $15 million cap number in 2026. So how do you not at least consider the possibility that what they really want is for him to prove that the turning of the corner that appeared to happen around Thanksgiving last year is who he is? And so, and of course you don't want to say, well, we're not really sure if he's good enough. You don't want to say that publicly. I get it. But I'm not a huge fan of we want him long-term, because this would not have precluded them from getting him long-term. So I understand the narrative. I understand you say things that you're supposed to say. But I'm a Quay Walker believer. I know I am in a small group. There are plenty of doubters about him. But I believe that he turned a corner, and I think he's going to have a really good year. And maybe that ends up costing them even more money. But I know this. I know Jeff Hafley believes that he's got a dynamic duo between him and Edgerrin Cooper. I know that Xavier McKinney, as I wrote about on channel3000.com, I remember standing with a couple of other reporters and talking to him after the Thanksgiving night game against Miami, in which Quay Walker was a beast. And whether or not he was swept up in the moment, I don't know, but Xavier McKinney said that he is the best middle linebacker in the league. Now, has he proven that over an extended period of time? No, but Xavier McKinney is not the type of guy that says that stuff and is hyperbolic about guys that aren't that good. So when he says that, it gets my attention. And so I just feel like just sort of swallowing the narrative of, well, we want him long-term. It was just too big of a number for him for this year because of the edge rushers. It's $2 million more than than Devontae Wyatt is getting. And I'm not sure Devontae Wyatt has proven anything conclusively either at this point. So tell me why I'm wrong there.
Because it's all about value. And you can love a player and want them back and say all the stuff that you just mentioned. And then you can look at it and say, all right, the Green Bay Packers went a long time. I don't want to use the term neglecting.
No, it's the right word.
Not emphasizing production in the middle of their defense. They said, let's get tackle gatherers. That's what we want. And then I'm convinced that the Greenlaws, Varners, Bowmans, I keep forgetting the other guy's name, Willis. Oh, my God.
What you talking about, Willis?
There you go. That changed the narrative as far as how the Packers approach this position. They utilized a first-round pick. And the question really comes down to, do you want Quay Walker to be your guy? I think they do. But I think they want it, as you put it, on their terms. And getting a fifth-year option on a defensive tackles, the big boys are making $25-30 million a year.
It's true.
The big boys. Mm-hmm. The big boy inside linebackers, what are they making, 15 to 20? I mean, I don't know what are the Varners, and I don't think anybody's putting Quay Walker in the Varner category yet, but the big boy inside linebackers are making upper teens, low 20s.
Yep.
And so you look at this and you say, I'm going to risk the fact that Devontae Wyatt, if he pops, is going to be real expensive. If Quay Walker pops, you know what? We get another full year to see it. We're not guaranteeing if he gets hurt, if something happens, we don't owe him anything. Whereas if he does, you kind of played that risk reward out. Sure. Even if Quay dominates and has a big boy year, you're going to end up signing him in the way the Packers do it. They're going to give him a big signing bonus, and then have a 2-year route. And this year, giving him a 1 year where you don't really get any of that long-term savings, and you don't get the cap savings because you're paying him, and then that you have to factor into your new deal. And I think they're just looking at it saying, we hope Quay dominates and we have to pay him. We're fine with that. That's the risk that we're going to take. It's either that or it's, I don't know if he's our guy. It's one of those two things. There's nothing in between because their actions spoke, and their actions tell a lot.
More than their words of we want them for 2026 and beyond.
Whatever that is that is irrelevant because the action was now done, and it's a two-way street. You're either we hope he plays great and we will pay him, or the risk just wasn't there for us to give that injury guarantee for a year. I don't know which way it is. I know they want him to play great, them having a lot of success, and be more. It's almost like team success will bring individual success for Quay Walker. That's what this year is going to be for everybody involved.
Well, we will see how it plays out with Quay Walker, and if he is the player that they're hoping. It felt a little bit like, hey, here's the narrative, you have to believe it. And you always say, rightfully so, don't listen to what they say, look at what they do. And what they did was they didn't give him the fifth-year option. So that's the reality of it. All right, I do want to get into, we'll play trivia a little bit later when Tausch has to leave for a little while.
How do you think Quay takes this?
Yeah, not great, right?
I don't know, because it's different than a franchise tag, but it's similar in the fact that it locks you in. You don't get the long-term deal. So players don't want franchise tag, but it does tell you that, and that doesn't limit them. If Quay balls out, what is a franchise tag for that's the other thing you got to look at, because that edge rush gets into this equation. What is a franchise tag for a starting middle linebacker? Because if it's less than 15, then what are we talking about? Then it's irrelevant.
I think the issue here is that picking up here's another example of what I'm talking about. The Lions picked up Aiden Hutchinson's fifth-year option, okay? Yeah. But they don't want him to play on the fifth-year option, right? They want him long-term. So they pick up the fifth-year option, but it's really like no one wants to actually play on the fifth-year option. It's a weird mechanism. It's basically a confirmation when they pick it up, which is still you got a whole nother season to play before it kicks in. That's the other confusing part that I know some fans, just to clarify, his 2025 salary, all these guys, their 2025 salaries are set. Now, they become guaranteed if they aren't already if you pick up the fifth-year option. But the fifth-year option for the 2022 draft class is 2026. So they're under contract this year. That does not factor in at all. But the Lions pick up the fifth-year option on Aiden Hutchinson with no intention of having him play on it. The whole idea is it tells you that we want you, but you don't want to play on it. You want the security of a long-term deal with much more guaranteed money up front and a signing bonus. We want the cap relief of spreading out the cost of keeping you instead of it. So it's kind of this weird mechanism where you don't want to play on it, but you want to get it because it says how we feel about you.
Sure.
And so in this case, the message, whatever other things they say, is we're not sure enough with you to give it to you now and then replace it with a long-term deal. That's what it is. And I am a Quay Walker believer. If I am wrong, they will have him play out this season. And then, are they going to get a deal done before training camp with him? Maybe, I guess.
No.
I can't rule that
Quay,
out.
Not unless it's exactly what the Packers want. No, I think Quay is at that point where now, especially without that, he is going to – the motivation, and this is part of it that maybe you don't look at. The motivation, guys always want to have great years. Guys really want to have great years when they're in their contract year. Mm-hmm. He's now in his contract year. And when you do that, maybe it's another little kick like, all right, we saw some glimpses. Now let's do it consistently, game in, game out.
Yeah. We will see how it plays out. I did want to get to that. I do want to get into the Packers version of Zach Bond because I did think of Tausch when I put my headline on that story.
There it is.
We'll get to that. Coming up, you could take it to the bank, that we're going to talk about that next. And if it is being taken to the bank, it's taken to Associated Bank. The best customer service in the industry. They've got the awards to prove it, and it's great if you want Brewers checking, support the Brewers. If you want Badgers checking, support the Badgers. Or if you want Packers checking, because they are the bank of the Packers from the very beginning in 1919. But more importantly, you want to be at a bank where you feel comfortable and confident and know they're looking out for you, and that's exactly what Associated Bank does. It's not branches that make you local, it's your roots, and their roots are here in Green Bay and throughout the Midwest, and they've got the best customer service, whether it's early pay, whether it's credit monitoring, whether it's fraud protection. They're looking out for you. So go to AssociatedBank.com to find out more. We'll have more next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio. Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers begin a 10-game road trip in Atlanta against Marcell Ozuna and the Braves. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern, with first pitch at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, a place I've loved going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. Man, I loved Pizza Hut back then, and I love creating new Pizza Hut memories with my family now. And right now, Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For just $13.99, you can get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. That's a lot of ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Ready to dip into deliciousness? Well, hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. And remember, no one outpizzas the Hut.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. The additions continue. Wisconsin men's hoops bringing on senior Braden Carrington. The Minnesotan spending his first 2 seasons with the Golden Gophers, while his most recent came at Tulsa. Standing at 6'4", the guard averaged just over 7 points per contest, along with roughly 5 boards a game. Greg Gard saying Carrington brings, quote, a level of maturity and understanding of the Big Ten that is crucial in today's landscape. Carrington, the 4th transfer Gard brings along for next season. The Badgers with the 6th best ranked transfer class according to On3 Sports.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo at the Bridges. On Saturday, May 3rd, play in a 2 or 4 person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes with a cart, prizes, and a Mexican feast. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Dancing on the edge, about to take it too far. It's messing with my head, how I mess with your heart. If you wake up in your bed, alone in the dark, I'm sorry. Gotta leave before you love me. Leave before you love me.
The Garden Party edition of Wilde and Tausch rolls on.
Did you see our artwork from our guy Greg?
I did. It's good stuff. Jesse will work on getting that. There it is.
Yeah, right up here on our video stream for those watching. Thanks, Greg.
Gardening with his bad knees. Some in the YouTube comments suggesting that much like when he drives and you're the passenger in his vehicle, the Tausch is a garden tyrant. I can see it. Very stern in his requirements for his peppers and his tomatoes. We're going to hear from Matt LaFleur from our conversation earlier this or last week at the Tundra Trio on draft day. Lots of different things that were interesting that he shared with us. You'll be able to check out the entirety of it on the ESPN Wisconsin app. We'll get to that coming up next. But Tausch, there are times where I know I irritate you, and I know there's times you irritate me. And one of them was the way you took they need to try and find their version of a Zach Baun this offseason, a bargain player who comes in and plays really well for you. And Isaiah Simmons, the former 8th overall pick, maybe is that guy. He has started 42 games in the league. He's bounced around. He was in Arizona for 3 years. He's been with the Giants the last 2 years. Guy won the Butt Kiss Award as the best linebacker in college football at Clemson. He is proof of the old rule that you tell us all the time, and I mentioned you in my tweet when I sent out the link to this story on Channel 3000. First-round picks constantly have to prove they don't belong in the league. 7th-round picks constantly have to prove that they do. If his draft status was not a first-round, 8th overall pick, I probably wouldn't have even written about his signing. But what do you think of picking up a guy with that kind of pedigree and the possibility that he could really help them this year?
Let's rephrase that. You would not be talking about him, A, because nobody would care, and B, because they wouldn't have signed him. Someone that has performed where he's at and has had the opportunities he's had, you're not getting those opportunities if you're a 7th if it would be a blip in the radar, not a Channel 3000 article. So the deal is, and this everybody signs up for it, talent gets you in. It'll keep you in a little bit longer, but it does not get you a job. You still have to go out and do it. And up to this point, he has not gotten the production that the teams that have chosen to have him expected. So now you get that opportunity that Zach Bond got in Philadelphia. And could it be he is a gifted athlete? That's why you get picked 8th overall. You don't get picked 8th because you're a nice guy. You get picked 8th because you are a freak show of an athlete that has proven that they can do it on a somewhat consistent basis. That has not been the case for him. So I look at this more of a, you know what, if this works, phenomenal. We're not banking on anything. If you're banking that he is going to be Zach Bond, you're probably going to be disappointed. But
in fairness, they weren't expecting Zach Bond to be Zach Bond in Philly either.
Jason, it depends who you ask. There's always revisionist history. Obviously, Howie Roseman thought that he could play, but their defensive coordinator saw this. They saw the vision. They saw that he was not being used in the way they would use him and that he could make a big splash. And Philadelphia put him into the mix. This wasn't like 3 injuries and, let's just try Bond out there. They saw the vision and they did it. Now, does Jeff Hafley see that same vision? I certainly hope so. But he has to go out and do it, and it's not costing you anything. I don't know other than maybe a workout bonus or something. I can't imagine there's any guaranteed money. So this is one of those great, let's see. And it could be awesome. And if it's not, it's no big deal. You need to have some of those hits. And why I laughed at you is because, no blank. It's like when, Don Beebe was on Homer's show and I was talking with Vinny and Eric about it. They're this is like, yeah, you know what's great? Having an MVP kick returner and Reggie White are both great additions to your team. That's why I give you grief. But it would be awesome if he can utilize the talent that got him drafted 8th, finding a role that fits and making this defense that much better. This will be great. Do I think that we'll be talking about that in September and October? I don't. But I would bet that if I was a Philly sportscaster, I would probably have said the same thing about Zach Bond, except for the fact he's from Wisconsin. I would have thought that he was going to light the world on fire. Outside of that, it is a fun story. It will be fun to monitor. But I hope he doesn't get the opportunity, because if he does, that probably means something has happened to either Coop or to Quay Walker.
Tausch, tell us a little bit about Coors Light so we don't have to listen to Jesse trying to imitate you.
Brewed. I can't wait to hear that. Brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged. It's made to chill. Garden party? Ooh, that sounds like a Coors Light for old tea. We'll probably have one of those, and I'll make sure those mountains are blue. That's when you know Coors Light is chilled to perfection. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch will consist of some of the best of our conversation with Matt LaFleur from last week at the Tundra Trio. That kicks off in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin.
Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Rivalry renewed tonight at American Family Field for the first time in the 2025 season. The Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago Cubs square off in a 3-game series. 7:10 first pitch tonight at American Family Field. Brewers fans, get your butts in those seats. Keep those Cubs fans out. Here's the bad news if you're looking to watch it on television. It's exclusively streaming on Apple TV Plus tonight. No local television. Apple TV Plus for Brewers Cubs tonight. Of course, our preference, you can listen to it right here on Madison's home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN, or our sister station, 620 WTMJ, the flagship in Milwaukee. Brewers Cubs, 7:10 first pitch tonight against Craig Counsell and the rival Cubs. Meanwhile, NBA fallout continues from the Bucks falling to the Pacers in 5 games in their opening round Eastern Conference playoff series. The latest speculation on Giannis' future. Check it out at ESPNWisconsin.com. And football up in Titletown, rookies meeting with the media for the first time this afternoon. We'll talk more about that on Wilde and Tausch straight ahead.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins sooner or later. Tends to be the theme of the 10 o'clock hour. Always great to hear Matt Carney's voice, though. We spent some time with Matt LaFleur last week. I really enjoyed it. He's very confident in his pickleball skills.
Yeah.
So is Tucker Kraft. Tausch, are we going to play them in doubles? What's your plan there? Because I know we haven't gotten our matchup with the governor and Mrs. Governor on the schedule yet.
I think you should at least play the governor as a warm-up before you play LaFleur and Tucker
Feels
Kraft.
like that might be a good idea, yeah.
I would say, Jason, if you and I lose to the governor and his wife, I think, and this is going to sound,
You're going to quit the show.
Our show's over.
If we had a tournament and it was a doubles tournament, it was you two against the governor, his wife in one bracket, and then Becca and I against LaFleur and Tucker Kraft in the other bracket.
It would be Jason and I versus Tucker and LaFleur.
In the loser's consolation.
Yeah, sure. Certainly. Jason says he's better than what he showed. And I know he only got to hit 4 or 5 shots at that at the opening of the Pickler. So we'd probably be dogs against Tucker and LaFleur, but I don't know how they would respond to my cut backhand. Until I see that, my guess is it's going to take them a long time to figure that out, and we'd be fine. But I could be wrong. Again, my gardening knee is not in play, so that is obviously a limitation. But I feel like I can overcome that if my cut backhand is as good as I think it is.
Well, there has been some talk here at the Wilde House because we have no sports scheduled this weekend that maybe we could make an appearance at the Pickler. So I'll have to talk to some people over there and see if they can fit us in for a big match. But that was not the only thing we talked about. We talked for about a half hour, and the entirety of that interview can be found on the all-new, all-redesigned, all-free ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. But we're going to play a few of the choice cuts from our conversation. Starting with, and this was, I knew Tausch wanted to get to this. I feel like he may have inaccurately portrayed whose opinion might have been questioning the challenge work.
You think he lied to the head coach of the Green Bay
Matt
Packers?
LaFleur. I think he may have misled him. I don't think old boy wanted the old ball coach to know how harshly criticized he has been on our program for his challenging and his emotional.
Whoa. I don't think I was. I let him know that. Am I the only person that feels that way?
No, you're not. You're not.
Okay.
But you kind of. What happened there? Let's let people listen and judge for themselves.
All right, fair enough.
Here is the conversation about Matt LaFleur and ways he can improve in 2025.
I give you a little bit of grief about this, but it's one of the things that I respect most about you, is that in a press conference, it's always, well, I have to do better at this. And I know that's not just phony. So I'm going to put you on the spot, though. Since you say it's always, I've got to do better, what do you need to do better this season? When you look at yourself from a coach's perspective, what do you want to do differently or better to get you to where you want to go?
I think there were a couple.
Some fans are saying your challenge percentage.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. There's some calculated risks involved with the challenges where you may want a timeout where you're just like you throw the flag instead. So you can't worry too much about that. And then certainly I think in the first half you're going to be a little bit more liberal with your challenges and take a shot. Where in the second half you're trying to hold on to those timeouts in case it doesn't go your way.
And in fairness with the Sky Judge, it has become a lot less critical part of the process.
I agree with that, and I'd also say that you just saw a lot less reversals this last year, and I think that's part of the learning process. I know there's a new guy in that role in the NFL, and there's a learning curve for it.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I do that to him all the time. But what are the other things that Jason thinks that you should be improving upon?
Well, I think if I'm being critical of myself, there were some moments, though, in games where I don't think we managed the game the way it should have been managed. And that is something that I feel like I've done a pretty good job with over the course of time. And there were a couple instances, Chicago being the number one, where we let it get away from us, and that falls squarely on my shoulders. So I take that very personally, and you usually don't get a whole lot of sleep when something like that happens.
One of the things Jason criticizes you for?
Well, Jason, here's the deal, and I don't know if you fully understand this. I think you do.
All right, condescending Tausch.
You had a nice crowd. We had a bunch of people behind the stage. You want to have some laughs and some fun, right? You want to have some fun, and it can't just be, what do you think of this? You two have.
So that's what that was.
Your relationship with Matt LaFleur. You guys talk. You guys have conversations. You guys, I'm not going to say you guys are friends. You have a great relationship.
We do.
He knows you're a long-talking, nice guy that wants to have interesting perspectives on stories. That's what he knows about you, right?
He knows I'm fair, too.
It's fun to kind of playfully jab you. As far as the challenge stuff goes, I don't think he's good at it.
I noticed you didn't say that to him.
Well, I'm not going to be a total jerkster, but I didn't say, man, you're crushing it with challenges. And I don't know if his answer made me feel a lot better, if I'm being honest with you. Well, the first half doesn't matter. Well, yeah, it kind of does. But whatever it may be, I think there is not a doubt in my mind that the criticisms that I've levied against him, which I think he is a very good play caller, I like the way he approaches. I actually think his clock management is pretty good. I love how aggressive he is trying to get the ball back before the half. He screwed up the Bears game, no doubt. It happens. His emotional challenge, flag throwing, and that's the part he needs to get better at. And I feel fairly certain you can see he's comfortable, man. You remember the first time he was an uncomfortable cat? It was, oh, my God. 7 years later, he's obviously much, much better with that. And I think he is going to get a lot better kind of corralling those emotions and not just firing challenge flags because he's pissed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, again, I do think that your critique was fair about the emotion, and I think he acknowledged that was
He
fair.
has, yep.
So I don't, the challenge thing, I would disagree with him because you only get two. Unless you get the first one right and the second one right, then you have the third one. But here's the problem. Like with, as we like to call him, Sky Judge, which, again, I don't know the rules of collective bargaining. I'm not a labor lawyer, but I do find it odd that the NFL basically just instituted that, like, on their own. Like
it's pretty sweet.
And then they claim, it's in after conferring with replay, we have a reversal. Like the significance of challenges has been increased by how often things are corrected by the office back in New York.
You also need to look seriously. Like they've already looked at this. They didn't agree, or they would have. So that's what that was the point I was making. So your challenge percentage should be really high.
Yeah, and should be infrequent. You should have a high batting average, despite not batting a lot.
Yeah, I think that was abundantly clear, and that is something that they need to be better at. And I think hopefully they will, because the league is sort of taking it out of coaches' hands, which I don't think is a bad idea.
No,
coaches have enough stuff going on, but you still. It's more, to me, the biggest thing Matt LaFleur, what I was hoping he would say outside of the challenges, is that I can't let my emotions just steamroll me into making another bad decision on top of the bad thing that just happened. That is his biggest thing, because I'll tell you what, I'm excited about the new pieces that they got, what he can do. Anyone that doesn't think he is a good offensive coach, and schematically, now he's grown, but he adjusts. He doesn't just sit there. He's not the stubborn old ball coach that's like, this is what we do. He sees that Josh Jacobs likes duo blocking and is really good at it. He changes some things up to fit their players. Now it's, do we have enough talent? And that is, to me, going to be the fun part of watching this new season unfold, is how Matt LaFleur utilizes some of these pieces and who are the pieces that elevate, that get used more, because coaches want to win. Coaches want their plays to look awesome. Their plays look awesome when they don't have the most drops in the NFL. Coaches' plays look awesome when your jet sweeps don't get bobbled, then you get stuck behind it. You have some guys that can block and actually let that thing get started. Those are some of those tools in this gardening belt that Matt LaFleur is going to have this year.
Well, things that are awesome include those types of plays. Also, our Thursday show scheduled to be awesome at the awesome Hard Rock Casino in Rockford.
Indeed, and you know what? I have a different read. I'm going to get to Hard Rock in a minute. American Family Insurance is a proud sponsor of Wilde and Tausch for almost 100 years. They've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection, all so you're free to enjoy your dreams. So insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com today.
Scrolled a little too far down on my rundown. My apologies.
I ain't mad at you. See, I just didn't even yell at you.
God, what a pro.
Still
what
exciting. We're going to be at the Hard Rock. That's going to be pretty fun next Thursday.
Yeah, I just got a text from my buddy Lanzo, the Cashnado, we call him. He is excited. I don't know if he's going to make the trip that day, but he's excited to get down to Hard Rock.
Lanzo?
We call him, he's Cashnado. We think Cashnado, yeah.
Is he going to come to the Hard Rock and show off his Cashnado skills?
He will, I think we're scheduled to go down in June as well. We're going next week. That's a quick turnaround for Cashnado. But he got in one of those. He won a Cashnado where you go in. You know how they got the cash like fluttering around in like a phone booth? He got in one of those. So we changed his name to Cashnado because he was able to collect a little bit of cash.
Did he, how much
I
did
don't want
he
to get into too much in case there's IRS. Like, I don't want to get into all that. I'm not going to give his name. Well, you just don't know how that works. I don't. So I'm not going to put his business on the street, but he's the Cashnado.
Caught $2.
How many digits were in the winnings?
Again, I don't know. What is the value that you end up getting, to come out and you have to start signing stuff?
I think you have to be under $500.
I want to say it's $1,200. I think the number's 1,200. We'll talk to our friends at Hard Rock next week, and we'll find that out.
All right, well, we'll talk about them next. We'll also hear from Matt LaFleur talking about getting Tucker Kraft more involved in the offense. We'll hear that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here, encouraging you to save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch to Everlight Solar. Just like when general managers make big decisions to help propel a franchise forward for future success, you can make a game-changing decision for your home by making the switch to solar energy with Everlight Solar. Our family was looking to make the switch to solar for quite some time, but we weren't quite sure where to even start. That's when we met the great team over at Everlight Solar. From the very first conversation, they educated us on the benefits of solar while also helping keep the process simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
Saturday on ESPN Radio, Juan Soto and the New York Mets head to St. Louis to face Nolan Arenado and the Cardinals. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Progressive Insurance.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973, and they're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether it's the sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none and has exactly what you're looking for. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and check out the all-new 2024 Honda Prologue, Honda's first all-electric SUV, or browse their selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, a special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. To let it get away on the road. But you got no destination. You're in
Wilde and Cash NATO, or IRS NATO, continues. And it continues with more Matt LaFleur. We've spent a lot of time on this show talking about Tucker Kraft's role and his emergence.
We have. If I may, since I was out yesterday, before we get to Tucker and Matt LaFleur, and is Jaire Alexander coming back now? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't know. Is that what you're hearing?
Depends if you're listening to Wilde or Domovsky.
Well, now Domovsky's saying Domovsky was completely out on him, and then somebody kind of bully balled him a little bit, and he got all angry about it. Put out, I'm not doing this because I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. And then I see a report now from Breer that he's looking at taking a reduced contract, and maybe, he shows up at the virtual thing. He's down there in Florida working out with old boy. Oh, so a lot of pieces starting to, it's not, listen again, man, it's not about, report this. Let's talk about this for 2 seconds. He didn't get traded yet. There's been no trigger point. He's got a workout bonus that he's probably looking at. If he gets hurt while he's working out, they owe him the money. So there's a lot, there's more than a little smoke here. I would argue embers have been lit. Now, is it going to spark?
Have been lit.
Is it going to spark? Are we going to get ourselves a little fire? Or is it just an ember being lit? Because embers are lit. Can we agree that there is embers being lit?
I don't know. I thought... Embers?
Yes. Yes.
Look, I think that there is now, where there was once seemingly no possibility, there is a possibility.
Can you use the fire analogy? There was no wood. What was it?
I feel like, do you light embers, or are embers what are smoldering after you've burned
embers
something?
are there once the fire is lit.
Yeah,
but how to avoid that.
So the embers are the residue of the flint-induced starting point. Okay.
Here's the issue, and Matt LaFleur is going to talk to us today at 1 o'clock. I would like to know, yes or no, is Jaire Alexander taking part in the on-field off-season program that you are currently conducting? Because if he's not, and you have essentially said, hey, we'll pay you your workout bonus anyway, but we'd rather you didn't take part. How's that sound? You can keep working out in Florida with a wink and a nod, because I don't think you can legally do that, but you can say, hey, we'll still pay you. Then it leads me to believe that we're getting a little too excited about the possibility of his return. Because as you just said...
Embers.
The issue with these embers is if he goes out there on in the Don Hudson Center or out there on Ray Nitschke Field and blows out his knee, they are on the hook for his salary for this year, and they won't have him, and they can't trade him if he dames them.
Yes.
And I don't think they want to be tied into him.
Not at this price
number.
Point. Yep. So, Jason,
so what are they doing?
Here's what I'm thinking, and the reason I didn't think Jaire is ever going to want to take a pay cut, and I think there was a point where Jaire probably felt like, yeah, I'm not taking a pay cut. Nobody's going to trade me. Somebody's going to give me some cash, NATO, and I'm going to go about my life. Well, as I've said numerous times, the NFL has a funny way of humbling you. Ask Shador Sanders. The NFL will humble you. And Jaire is not at the point where he's unhumbleable. He is humbled. Whether or not he knows it or not, you find out because nobody's interested in trading a second-round pick and paying you $23 million. Nobody's interested in paying you $15 million.
Indeed.
So you have to look at it, and for as much as you can be irritated and you can say all the stuff you want, I don't know, after the season and how things went, eventually reality will slap you in the face.
Hard.
And the reality of this situation is Jaire needs to prove himself to the league next year. It could be in Green Bay or it could be somewhere else. The question I don't have a doubt that Jaire, if it was the most amount of capable money, if he could get some incentives, let's say it's a $10 million deal, and he can earn another 13 back to get back to that point if he plays in all the games. He's all pro. Okay, it's not the ideal thing, but it probably is going to be as good or better than any scenario he's in. He likes Jeff Hafley. So you all of a sudden start looking at things in your representatives and people are like, this is going to be the best opportunity for you. Now, have you burned enough bridges with those Embers in the past that Brian Gutekunst can be like, throw water on it, let's move on. We don't want those Embers anymore. Or do you say, as Goody, well, we didn't draft a guy high. The Embers aren't going to cost what they. We're not going to have a big forest fire this time. They're going to be contained. And you know what? If for some reason it works out, we have ourselves a beautiful campfire. That's really what this comes down to. You want a campfire, it's all going to be contained. You don't have to worry about that. If any winds come up, you're gone. Any winds, we'll just stop. We'll blow the fire out. Then you let it build. So I don't know. I think reality is hit. And I don't know. I think from Jaire's standpoint, he now realizes this might be my best scenario. Does Brian Gutekunst feel that way? Because I got a hunch how last season played out on top of the captaincy deal from a year ago. There's a lot of lack of trust. He feels probably some flammability that he's not sure it's worth keeping that little smoldering ember there for. He's probably thinking, you know what?
He's going to make it work.
Maybe this isn't good, but I am not interested in catching a gust and there's a little bit of petrol that got dumped on it. And now all of a sudden,
petrol.
Oh, wow. Now all of a sudden I'm struggling and I got to get
fluid.
out. And that's where we're at with the Jaire Alexander standpoint, as far as I'm concerned.
Do you want him back, Tausch? And at what number do you want him back?
I do want him back, and I want him back on a low base salary with tons of incentives. And I want there to be, all right, you need this, you need us is worse than we need you. You got to go prove it. And if you don't, it ain't costing us hardly anything. It's not going to be an Isaiah Simmons type deal, but it'll be. His base salary is going to be minimal to me. And if you want to earn it with in-game incentives and with depoy stuff and Pro Bowls and wins on a team, you can put all that back in there. Give him opportunities to earn it back. But if he doesn't, we're not giving it to you. And if you can't live with those terms, that's all right. We'll move on. But I don't know where you're going to move on to. He'll get some opportunities. But it isn't going to be at the price point that he initially thought, and that's become abundantly clear.
It's also become abundantly clear that you are loving your membership as a credit union, a UW credit union member. You took my advice. You finally joined, and now you're reaping the benefits.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I just saw the clip got put out, I think, earlier this week. I was drafted seventh round, 224th. Long wait to get drafted there. UW Credit Union snapped me up before Tom Brady. They snapped me up first round. Got the jersey to prove it. And people ask me, T, why'd you join UW Credit Union? Is to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service, the great perks like early payday? Well, yes to everything. But honestly, between us, I just wanted that Bucky debit card. And if you love Wisconsin like I do, you can't just pay with anything else. Fandom will make us do crazy things. But, man, this isn't crazy. This just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member like I did and get your Bucky card. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
We'll hear more from Matt LaFleur since we didn't hear from him at all that segment. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
Locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits. Only one way to do cocktail night right, and that's with Door County Distillery. Hey, it's Alex Stroh. For 4 years now, I've been telling you the only way I do cocktail night right at the Stroh household, and that is with my friends at Door County Distillery. Whether it's a bourbon on the rocks, an old-fashioned made with their cherry brandy infused with Door County cherries, or something like a rum punch with the weather getting warm, it's always Door County Distillery. Find it wherever local spirits are sold or visit doorcountydistillery.com.
When you've been seriously injured, you need a trusted team on your side. Gruber Law Offices is available 24/7 and will even come to you. Your first call is free. Your first visit is free. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. Metro Ford is also the home of the 2 years no-charge maintenance offer on new vehicle purchases, making it the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at metrofordofmadison.com. That's metrofordofmadison.com.
Bo here from Ridgetop Exteriors. Southern Wisconsin got hit hard with hail recently. If your home took a beating, now's the time to take action. We've been delivering top quality roofing, siding, and window services locally for over 23 years. With free damage assessments and insurance experts on staff, we've been your licensed, local, and trusted contractor since day one. Don't wait until small damage becomes a big problem. Turn to Ridgetop Exteriors today. Ridgetopexteriors.com. That's ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit condonjeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Saturday on ESPN Radio, Juan Soto and the New York Mets head to St. Louis to face Nolan Arenado and the Cardinals. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Progressive Insurance.
Before we get to what Matt LaFleur had to say about Tucker Kraft, as previously suggested we'd get to, we also mentioned our trip to the Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Tausch, tell us more about what we've got going on.
Next Thursday, the old Wilde and Tausch crew are excited about this partnership with the Hard Rock Casino Rockford. I'm going to be out in Vegas. And you know what? Vegas is cute. But I'm really looking forward to getting back and getting out to the Hard Rock Casino in Rockford. The new casino in Rockford features over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space including more than 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, a beautiful sports book, and a rock shop. Hopefully they have the Cashnado game. We're looking forward to that too. They also, Hard Rock Casino showcases a museum-worthy collection of more than 500 pieces of authentic music memorabilia, including items from artists like Prince, Cheap Trick, Eddie Vedder, and the Blues Brothers. In Hard Rock Casino Rockford, a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90 in Rockford, Illinois.
All right, Jesse. Tausch has got to get ready for his speech. So what clips of Matt LaFleur are the most compelling to you that we want to get to before he leaves us?
Yeah, there's two I want to get to. For sure, you already teased the Tucker Kraft one, so I think we should pay that one off. So let's play Tucker Kraft here first. This is on his involvement in the offense. And this is, remember, prior to the draft. So Matthew Golden was not yet a Green Bay Packer when this
And Tucker Kraft was
commentary.
in the crowd, too, during this.
That did help. Yes, I'm sure that helped.
He's the guy that we absolutely have to get more involved in whatever facet that may be. But he's a great weapon for us. I love it when he gets the ball in his hands. He reminds me of Roger Craig, the way he runs, that high knee drive and the tenacity. But
you were impressed with that the kip up. I'm sure you're a kip up guy. Yeah. When he was on the ground, I thought that was
to do a kip up here.
That looked
I don't
pretty
think anybody
impressive.
here could do a kip up. Throwing it out there.
It's going to be pretty limited, I think.
Yeah, but no, he's an impressive athlete and an impressive guy, and he plays the game the right way. And I think that we're going to unleash more to his game this upcoming season.
Tausch, how do things change, if at all? Because you and I spent a lot of time talking about what this offense would look like and potentially be routed through the running back and the tight end positions. Does this change now with Matthew Golden and Savion Williams being drafted after we had this conversation with Matt?
No, I certainly hope so. That doesn't mean Tucker Kraft isn't going to be a focal point in the offense, but I think the way we looked at pre-draft was, who is your most consistent performer so far? Who can you count on right now to be a big-time player that we've seen do this on the most consistent basis? And that answer is number 85. Now, you bring in, I don't know what number Golden's going to end up picking. Is it 22? No,
22.
I thought it was 22.
Yelich.
So is it going to be him? I don't think Savion Williams, I'm not putting anything. I mean, jet sweeps and some rolls, and hopefully he grows into some bigger things. But you use a first pick for the first time in 23 years, as Mark Murphy eloquently put last week, and the success you've had with first-round picks in this organization, you better be getting utilized. And I'm not going to put everything on him, especially in September, October. But if we're having this conversation in December, that Tucker Kraft is our number one and only consistent weapon on offense in the passing game, we're going to be really disappointed. Mm-hmm. So Tucker Kraft can go ahead and have the kind of year that we're all hoping he has. And he can be a big part, a 75, 80 catch guy. And, there's been other guys that have caught more. I don't want my tight end catching 120 balls. I'd like it to be a number one wideout that is a dominant guy. But if he's the leading receiver, I'm fine with it. I don't want it to be where everything needs to go through Tucker Kraft. And I got the feeling prior to this draft that was kind of the initial thought process, tight ends, running back, and then we'll see. Well, we're still going to see, but I feel better that there's now more options than what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, look, Tucker Kraft needs to be a crucial part of this offense, but now that they have added a first-round pick at wide receiver and they have talent, let's not, I know it was fashionable to criticize the wide receiver group, and they deserved criticism. You dropped 33 balls, mostly by wide receivers. You deserve criticism. I'm not saying they didn't, but I still think Jaden Reed is a good player who could be a very good player. I still think that we're going to get a payoff from Dontavion Wicks. I will think that until, after his fourth season and they don't re-sign him. But they need to be super productive, too. This cannot just be, hey, let's give the ball to Josh Jacobs and hope he gets 1,500 yards and 20 rushing touchdowns, and let's throw the ball to the tight ends all the time. The wide receivers have to be factors. We felt like that all along, but now with adding Matthew Golden, I'm curious to see just what that dynamic looks like. All right, Jesse, what else do you want to play from the head coach before we get to trivia?
I want to leave it up to Tausch. I have two clips here that I think are both interesting. So one is on young players compared to veterans or teams that are mostly young players like they've had the last couple of years versus when Matt LaFleur first took over coaching the Packers with veteran players. Or we also have how he has changed and evolved as a head coach. Which one's more interesting, Tausch?
I am going to go off the board. I'm going to say both. So you pick which one first. I like both because I thought both answers were insightful. Let's start with his coaching techniques.
All right, here is Matt LaFleur, how he's changed and evolved as a head coach.
First get into this role, you want to do everything, and you realize quickly there's not enough hours in the day to do everything. So you have to have people around you that you trust that are capable of carrying out what you want to get done. And for me, I feel like we've had a very strong staff since the day I got here, and it's evolved quite a bit. And I'm just fortunate to be around a lot of quality people. And one thing I really value about our organization, and it starts right at the top with Mark Murphy and Goody and Russ and guys like Ed Policy. Like, people value character here, and it extends to the people that we bring in the building, from coaches to players, and that makes coming to work much more fun, more enjoyable, and I think it's a lot easier because adversity is coming our way at some point in time. It happens every year, every week, on a daily basis, and you've got to have good people to be able to weather those tough times.
That is Matt LaFleur talking about the character of those around him. Tausch, what'd you think of that?
So I think right after that, I asked him, does that mean you'd ever give up play calling? And I think his answer kind of reiterated back to the point. I don't think he's going to give up play calling.
No.
If
it was what was best for the team.
Yeah, and I think he views himself, like Mike McCarthy did, as a savant. Whether or not you want to agree with that, that's up to you. But there is the shock of becoming a head coach and having leading an organization. And probably, even though you watched other coaches go through their process and you're taking notes, whether it was Sean McVay or Mike Vrabel or whoever he coached under, you don't know until you're in there. And I think he realized, holy blank, there's a lot of stuff that I got to deal with, whether it's the media or player personalities. And you have to juggle a lot, and you better make sure you have the people in place, because you have to delegate and you have to find the right people to get your vision out, because there's only one of you. And that, to me, was what was abundantly clear. And what he was saying there is that he's figured that out. It's still going to be difficult because you don't get to become a head coach in the NFL if you're not a control freak. Guys are. Mm-hmm. And it's your program, and everything that happens, you Truman up. Like, the buck stops you. You can say, well, it's so-and-so's, it's the defensive coordinator. And I think he's realized, the whole friendships and relationships, it's a business. And the Joe Barry component to this, which I know a lot of Packer fans were frustrated by, I think as he continues to coach, he realizes how accountable everybody has to be, and it ultimately is his. And who are you going to fall on the sword for, and who are you willing to say, no, this ain't good enough, we got to go? And will you do that quick enough? And that goes both players and coaches. And I think he's realizing that the amount of, I guess, critique that is going to be coming to him this season if things don't go well. He's now seen it. I think he understands it, and he knows what the ultimate goal is, and there's nothing that is prohibiting him from getting there, and I think he realizes that.
Jesse, let's get to one more clip from Matt before we play trivia and bid Tausch a brief farewell.
Yep, so this one is young players compared to veterans, which I thought was the most interesting thing, or at least at the top of my list of the interesting things he said during his sit-down with you guys.
I think when you have a more veteran team, guys that have been there, done that, you give them a longer leash, I would say. I think that you structure practice in a way that you're just trying to get these guys to the game, and you're just trying to keep them fresh because they've had enough reps, they've played enough ball, they've been in those big-time situations that you trust that they're going to be able to get it done. When you have a younger team, you're constantly trying to push the envelope, and we learned that a couple years ago. We're sitting at 3-6. And it wasn't like we were going to cut back practice. We needed to practice more. We needed to incorporate more competition periods because, we were young, and these guys needed the reps to grow as players, as people. So I would say that is probably the biggest difference between a veteran team and a younger team is you're constantly just pushing the envelope with these young guys, knowing that there's going to be more risk, but I think it's one of those risks you got to take.
Tausch, those risks when you take them with veteran players sometimes lead to your franchise left tackle tearing his ACL during a December 31st practice. It sounds to me like he learned from that, but now with young players, you have to treat them like young players and get them to work.
It is a balancing act, and in a league where you have less practice time, you do less padded practices, there's just a lot of less. How do you maximize getting the best of ability? And it's not easy to do, and I think Matt LaFleur wants a more veteran team because he realizes the biggest thing is having your preferred players healthy gives you the best opportunity to win big when it becomes postseason football. But when you are a team that kind of designs their program on youth and development, you have to work to get that development. And when you have that hybrid mix of some older guys that don't need it, you want to have good on good, 1v1, and you want them to improve. And I think I would be surprised if training camp, that's where you need to hit. You need to see these young players. Now guys are 3 years in. The vast majority of your guys are 2 and 3 year players. Where is that balance? Because you have veterans. You got the Zach Toms. You have Elton Jenkins, obviously Banks, Jacobs. You have those guys. How do you balance that? Matt LaFleur thinks he's got it figured out, but this is going to be a team that's more veteran, even though you still have a lot of 2 and 3 year players. Being a veteran in this league is about reps. It's not necessarily about time in the league. And a lot of his guys have a lot of time in, but are those guys consistent enough to help you win big? And that's what you got to shake out and try to figure out who those guys are that are going to give you a chance to elevate your program.
All right, Tausch, before we get to trivia, you will take a brief respite from us for your speech, but tell us about Quick Trip so we can get to trivia.
Life is busy and Quick Trip gets it. And whether you're craving that fresh coffee, a tasty bakery treat, or a quick grab-and-go meal, Quick Trip is your go-to. Quick Trip has a variety of apps and meals ready when you are. Want to make your next meal a little less ordinary? Well, head over to Quick Trip where they're serving up their legendary No Ordinary Chicken, juicy chicken tenders or boneless wings that are hand-breaded, fried to perfection, and ready to go right at that little station. The grab-and-go Quick Trip's crispy chicken sandwich. Perfect for a quick bite, plus that 8-piece fried chicken meal that feeds the whole crew. You got white bread that's 99 cents a loaf. Kitchen Cravings, boneless pork loin chops for 99 cents. And, of course, always fuel up. Quick Trip's got ATMs. They got everything you need. Download the Rewards app and take advantage of everything that Quick Trip has to offer for pickup or curbside delivery. Quick Trip, we'll see you next time.
Teamwork makes the dream work. That's the theme of Tausch's speech. Tausch, good luck with your speech. We'll talk to you in a little while.
Sounds good.
Jesse, let's play some trivia. What's the category? What caller do you want?
The best thing when Tausch isn't actually on video and we just have his picture up is we can't actually tell that he's gone, so we could pretend the rest of the time like he's here the whole time. And
it's not like he asks questions a lot of times.
Exactly. This is leftover draft trivia that we never got to last week. Goody's Drafts.
Goody's Leftovers.
Goody's Drafts is today's trivia category. I had to alter one of the questions, which was rendered null and void from this year's complete 7-round draft. But the rest
Sounds
of
like a
them
hint.
I created these last Wednesday thinking we would use them Thursday or Friday of last week. We never did, but they're still good. And I think these are fun questions. So.
All right. Well, he had 8 picks in this year's draft, so caller 8. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller number 8 plays trivia. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Chicago Cubs.
First pitch to Bowers is a fly ball right center field. Lead back, track, wall, bye-bye baseball.
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
With the calendar turning to May and the spring weather getting nicer every day, I'm feeling good on this Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints. Well, if the changing weather is kicking you into gear to get going on a long-awaited paint project, Home and Lindsay should be your first stop. They make the search for paint and stain in the Madison area super easy. Plus, you can also get connected with the Home and Lindsay Pro Painter to help with your biggest projects. I can't recommend them enough. Just stop into any Home and Lindsay area location, ask, and they'll connect you with the pro that best fits what your project calls for. And Home and Lindsay is the only paint made to withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. It's why we always say Wisconsin's best painters use Wisconsin's best paint. Check them out at homeandlindsay.com. That's homeandlindsay.com. Home and Lindsay. Great paint, great people. And stay tuned for Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints.
You, rah, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffel's Memorial Day Mattress Sale. Save up to $900 on select adjustable base sets, plus get up to $300 in Steinhoffel's cash only at Steinhoffel's. Wisconsin men's hoops bringing on senior Braden Carrington. The Minnesotan spending his first 2 seasons with the Golden Gophers, while his most recent came at Tulsa. Standing at 6'4", the guard averaged just over 7 points per contest, along with roughly 5 boards a game. Greg Gard saying Carrington brings, quote, a level of maturity and understanding of the Big Ten that is crucial in today's landscape. Carrington, the 4th transfer Gard brings along for next season. The Badgers with the 6th best ranked transfer class, according to On3 Sports.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because they never charge over the MSRP.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited is the proven exteriors professionals for 31 years. Family owned and locally operated right here in Wisconsin. National and local awards proving Siding Unlimited will deliver peace of mind. Looking for inspiration to replace your windows, roofing, siding, and doors? Stop by our amazing showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. And definitely check out SidingUnlimited.com. We are Siding Unlimited.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honeys. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honeys to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honeys experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honeys.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
play some trivia. Let's welcome in our contestant. It is Mike in Franklin. Mike, good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you guys?
We are very good. Thank you for asking. So, I don't know how Jesse's going to pull this off. I assume like his chips ready to go, but Mike is going to play, and then we're going to immediately draw the winner.
I do not want to forget, because we didn't do this at all last week, and I do not want to forget. So I'm all ready to go. The chips are going in. Look, here's one just for playing. Mike's in. All right, let's see how many.
And now he can win 3 more with 3 correct answers. All right, Mike, question number 1 is this. In Brian Gutekunst's tenure as general manager of the Green Bay Packers, at which school have the most Packers draft picks played college football? Is it Boston College, Georgia, or not sure, but he won't be picking anybody from Butte Community College anytime soon? Which is it?
I'm gonna go with Georgia.
That is correct. Another one this year, as a matter of fact, in Warren Brinson, the defensive tackle. And now they've got another defensive tackle from Georgia who's one of their undrafted free agents that they have also added to the mix. So that makes things a little bit interesting as well. Nazir Stackhouse. So it's a lot of Georgia swapping one G for the other in the Packers locker room. All right, question 2, Mike, is this. Which of these is the only Wisconsin Badgers player that Brian Gutekunst has selected in an NFL draft during his tenure as GM of the Packers? Is it Vince Beagle, Jared Abbrederis, or Cole Van Lannon?
I don't know if Abbrederis was a pick or not. I'm gonna go with I'll go with Abbrederis.
So Vince Beagle was drafted the year that they took Kevin King and didn't take T.J. Watt. That was Ted. Jared Abbrederis also picked by Ted. The correct answer. Cole Van Lannon subsequently traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars a few years later.
What was the right answer then, Cole?
Cole Van Lannon,
Yep.
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay, all right.
All right, question 3, Mike. Let's bounce back and get Jesse to drop another chip in the cheese fry helmet for you. Since Brian Gutekunst became the Packers GM in 2018, Green Bay ranks 2nd in the NFL in games started by rookies with 917. Jesse, what's your source on this?
The Green Bay Packers press release prior to the 2025 NFL draft.
That's nuts.
Ripped almost verbatim from this.
From the headlines.
Probably cite a source with how much I just It wasn't a copy and paste, but it was a
pretty close though.
Read and write.
Which team ranks first with 958 games started by rookies since 2018? Is it the Los Angeles Rams, the Tennessee Titans, or the Denver Broncos? Most starts by rookies since 2018.
I have no clue. I'll go with Denver Broncos.
I have no clue either.
Tough
what
question.
a stat.
It is
Incorrect.
not the Broncos. You want to guess again, Mike, between the Titans or the Rams?
I'll say Titans then.
Yeah, you Tauscht it. Well done. It is the Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles Rams.
So what I thought was most interesting about this, because the Rams' whole thing is blank them picks. Like they made all those trades with Stafford. They said we don't care. And they actually, since 2018, have the most games of anybody started by rookies. How
That
does
is
that
interesting.
How does that work? They
I don't
got
know.
rid of all their picks.
Well, blank them picks indeed. All right, Mike, you now have 2 entries into the cheese fry helmet. Should we try something here? And if somehow, for the first time in history, Mike gets pulled, Mike would be the winner who is on the air at the time of the polling of his...
We did have someone do that a few weeks ago. We did similar setup, but it still would be unprecedented, especially with only 2 entries.
I guess not unprecedented, but rare.
Hardly precedented.
Barely precedented. Here we go.
Drawing from the cheese fry helmet. Spanning 2 weeks. The final time we're playing for an ESPN Wisconsin prize pack. This is, we do have something unprecedented. This is officially the longest anyone has waited to hear their name drawn as a trivia winner.
It ain't Mike.
The contestant from the Monday before the NFL draft. 10 business days ago. Who was it? Don in Sun Prairie.
I don't even know who was it so long ago.
Nearly a
Mike.
fortnight.
Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Oh, Jesse, what a moment. Historic.
Don, patience pays off. Don in Sun Prairie. Prize pack coming your way.
And the final one ever given out.
At least
on
for
this
now.
program. Yeah. All right. Well, that is it for the 10 o'clock hour. We will kick off the 11 o'clock hour talking about where I am headed over to Lambeau Field, as we will hear from the rookies in the draft class. I guess Nazir Stackhouse won't be made available. I want to talk to him today, but we'll have to wait for OTAs to chat up with him. We will talk about the rookie minicamp when we kick off the 11 o'clock hour, and it happens in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hey, it's Kelly Sheffield, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball head coach. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by the new ESPN Wisconsin app. Listen live and on demand to all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows at the touch of a fingertip. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple and Android app stores today. That's where you can find Wilde and Tausch's full 30-minute conversation with Green Bay Packers head coach Matt LaFleur prior to the NFL draft up in Titletown last week. Reactions to that conversation during the 10 o'clock hour of today's show. If you missed any of that, subscribe to the Wilde and Tausch podcast on Apple, Spotify, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Baseball, the Brewers' rivalry with the Chicago Cubs renewed tonight at American Family Field. 7:10 first pitch for the Brewers and the Cubs as former manager Craig Counsell brings the Cubs to town. Pre-game coverage starts just after 6:30 right here on Madison's home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. Also listen on our flagship station, our sister station, 620 WTMJ in Milwaukee. That's especially important tonight because tonight's game is televised, streaming exclusively on Apple TV+. No local TV for Brewers Cubs tonight.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Old boy, old T, the speech giver, will rejoin us in a little while here. Before that, though, we need to get to the NFL draft, which yielded 8 players for the Green Bay Packers. Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas. Anthony Belton, offensive lineman, NC State. Savion Williams, wide receiver, TCU. Barron Sorrell, who you may have heard about since he was my favorite story of the draft in the 4th round, defensive end from Texas. Colin Oliver, defensive end from Oklahoma State, who has already signed his contract per Drew Rosenhaus. So already got one guy under contract like a matter of days after the draft. I mentioned Warren Brinson, the defensive tackle from Georgia, and then the 2 7th-round picks, Micah Robinson from Tulane, a corner, and John Williams, an offensive lineman from Cincinnati.
The movie composer?
That's exactly. I made that same joke when he was picked, and nobody got it.
Aww.
That was
Jurassic
very
Park,
disappointing to me.
Harry Potter, Star Wars.
Star Wars. I'm surprised you left Star Wars all the way till third there.
He and Hans Zimmer, 1 and 2, and I'm not sure in which order in my movie composer power rankings.
I believe Hans Zimmer, didn't he do the music for Die Hard?
That sounds... No, that's Hans Gruber. You're thinking of the villain.
I don't... I do enjoy a good Hans Gruber reference. Bill Clay. So I'm looking forward to talking to all these guys. I am intrigued. We haven't spent a lot of time on the undrafted free agent class, and apparently I won't be spending any time with them today. The Packers renovated their locker room. They're still in the process of doing so we don't have locker room access as we normally do. So you can't bounce around and get a bunch of guys, which I'm kind of bummed about. But the fact of the matter is that we'll have 8 draft picks to talk about. And talk to today. And I would say this. Baron Sorrell was obviously, he stole the show, right? Being in Green Bay, the only one that was still in the green room during the 4th round.
Golden was pretty good, too. I mean,
yeah, but you expect that type of energy when you pick a wide receiver for the first time in 23 years, and it's in person, and the outgoing team president / CEO / stand-up comic / hype man goes pretty giddy up on the stage.
We got to get the Chippewa Falls.
So that's great and all. It is, but I'm curious about a couple of other guys, including Anthony Belton and John Williams, the offensive lineman, not the composer. They're big dudes, and we talked a lot for a while here about how many offensive linemen are heading into their walk years, and I don't necessarily think either one of these guys are expected to be counted on ASAP. But I do think it's going to be interesting to see if one of these guys is fighting for a starting job, is Anthony Belton. Because, look, Jesse, you know this, when you're picked in the 2nd round, there are expectations that go with that. And whether or not he's going to be a project or they're going to be patient with him, or we already were told by both Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst he's not going to compete at left tackle. That is still going to be Jordan Morgan versus Rasheed Walker. So do they plan on we'll have one practice to look at them tomorrow at 10:15. Beautiful Saturday spent inside the Don Hudson Center. But beyond that, we got no idea what they've got planned for these guys.
Laugh out loud moment. If you haven't heard The Huddle with Barry Alvarez on ESPN Madison from earlier this week, Alex Gravatt, the host of the show, was reading off some of the description of Anthony Belton. And he said one of his positives, one of his strengths is he's a offensive lineman who really helps fill the gaps and solidify the line, to which Barry Alvarez says, no blank, he's 400 pounds. Laugh out loud moment earlier this week. If you missed the podcast, you can check it out on the ESPN Wisconsin app. So I think there's one question which we've kind of talked about with Bulaga. Strofe brought it up yesterday when we were doing our Q&A time, which is what are your expectations for the offensive line and for Anthony Belton? Here's my question I want to flip on you here when you brought his name up, because I am intrigued probably most by him because of the hype of Golden, Savion Williams. I think we kind of see where that's going to go. And you mentioned Baron Sorrell had his moment last week, and then some of the other guys, we'll see where they fit in. Belton's the one who's most interesting to me because what do you think his expectations are for his rookie season in Green Bay?
Yeah, and that's interesting, Jesse, because as we did talk about yesterday, they are huge believers in the concept of transitioning a guy who is a college left tackle into some other position. And that would be another instance here, right? I mean, if they're saying flat out after drafting him that we're not going to put him into the left tackle mix. We're not going to have it be a three-way race. Well, then what exactly are they looking for from him? There was a lot of talk about him being a guard body. He's not listed at 400 pounds. He may be 400 pounds. I'll have to wait and see when we see him in person. 6'6", 340 is what he's listed at. But is he a guard? Because that's a big guard. And he would fill in the gaps in the offensive line.
You don't say.
But that's a great question to ask him of what his expectations are, because not only is he transitioning from college football to the NFL, but he also must adjust to potentially playing a different position. He was a left tackle his entire career. So that's an adjustment he'll have to make as well.
Yeah, and I just like you get through the excitement of getting drafted, hearing your name, whether no matter what round it is, in front of the home crowd, you see the reaction. Like then what settles in? You get to Green Bay, you meet with your head coach, you meet with your position coach. Like then what happens? That's what I think is most interesting.
Yeah, the guy that I'm eager to talk to is Savion Williams, because I'm super curious with his diverse skill set, what exactly they have planned for him. So I want to talk to him, and I do want to talk to Warren Brinson, because, man, oh, man, they got a heck of a lot of Georgia Bulldogs on this team. And I am curious to explore that a little further with him. You should also explore the Steinhafels Memorial Day preview sale, which is on right now. Save 10% off store-wide, plus get amazing deals like mattresses starting at $199, queen beds priced at only $449, and sofas now at $499. Plus, you can save up to $1,000 on patio furniture and take advantage of Steinhafels' 18-month 0% financing. Steinhafels is Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader, and they're 100% employee-owned. So shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com. Tausch will rejoin us for a round of Did You Hear This? The Giannis edition, next. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet, the name you can trust. There's nothing like a great summer road trip. And whether you're traveling around the state or around the country, it's the time of year to start thinking about your plans to hit the road for a new adventure in the coming months. And with all the things to consider, what to do, how to get there, where you'll stay, the absolute last thing you want to worry about for a summer road trip is car trouble. Make sure your vehicle is ready to take on every potential challenge thanks to the fantastic service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Get a tune-up, check the battery, check your tires, change the oil, and make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape so you can focus on fun and not finding maintenance help during your summer road trip this year. Call Zimbrick Chevrolet to schedule an appointment with their incredible service team, or check out their services and schedule an appointment online at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
We ask and you answer. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every weekday 4 to 6, and follow at Jim, Matt, Molly on X to vote in daily poll questions. Presented by Siding Unlimited. Trust Siding Unlimited with your next window and door project.
Waiting to see a general surgeon? With Stoughton Health, it's always easy access, with most appointments within a week. And with over 160 insurances accepted, you're covered and in good hands. For more information, visit StoughtonHealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
ESPN Wisconsin's Brian Balaga here from my new friends at Surfside. There's only one thing better than Surfside and golf, and that's Surfside iced teas and lemonade plus vodka on the golf course. This golf season, there's no better drink to enjoy on the golf course. Surfside is light, refreshing, and made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Plus, there's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network, and I've got a question for you. Is your home ready to shine this season? Whether it's roofing, siding, or windows, Ridgetop Exteriors is the name you can trust. For over 20 years, Ridgetop Exteriors has been Wisconsin's favorite for roofing, and they bring that same expertise to siding and windows. Imagine vibrant, low-maintenance siding and energy-efficient windows that brighten your home while cutting energy costs. Ridgetop Exteriors holds all expert-level installation credentials with the leading manufacturers, including Pella, James Hardy Fiber Cement Siding, and LP Smart Side Engineered Wood Siding. With thousands of 5-star reviews and a commitment to excellence, they're the clear choice for home improvement needs. Plus, consultations and estimates are always free, so there's no reason to wait. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com to schedule your free consultation. Ridgetop Exteriors, putting customers first every time.
Ridgetop Exteriors is the place for you.
Madison athletes seeking elite training need to get started today at Total Athlete Performance. TAP is here to serve and educate the serious athlete with their speed, agility, and semi-private training options. Sessions are now available in both Windsor and their TAP facility inside the Verona Athletic Center. Also access remote training anytime, anywhere with the Total Athlete Performance app. Visit tapwisconsin.com for subscriptions, including monthly payment options. That's tapwisconsin.com.
Spring is here. Time to get growing at Felly's Flowers and Greenhouse. Felly's has everything you need to bring your garden to life, including the largest selection of locally grown annuals, perennials, vegetable plants, and custom hanging baskets. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just getting started, Felly's Greenhouse in Fitchburg has the best selection to make your garden bloom. Proudly voted Best of Madison, choose Felly's Flowers as your go-to garden destination. Visit us today and grow with Felly's.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Tausch is back again. Tausch is back. Time to play Did You Hear This? Wanted to get to this before we ran out of week. Jesse worked very hard on it. So let's get to Did You Hear of This?
Consider it the radio version of a conversation at the water cooler. It's time for Did You Hear This on Wilde and Tausch.
Indeed it is. Did you hear this? Wanted to get to some of the national speculation about Giannis and the Bucks following the fallout of Game 5 of the Eastern Conference playoffs, and of course what comes next for Giannis in or not in Milwaukee. First up, this is what Chris Canty said a little bit earlier this week. Our buddy
I
Canty.
like him.
Yeah, he's fun. It was fun seeing him in Green Bay last week.
Canty's auntie.
You might not think this is as fun, though. Here's what he said about the Milwaukee Bucks playoff loss to the Pacers, eliminated for the third straight year in round 1 of the postseason.
I'm just sitting here thinking about what was the biggest mistake when it comes to how they managed the roster these last half decade with Giannis. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know if it was too much loyalty to Chris Middleton throughout all of the injuries. I don't know if it was making the move to trade away Drew Holiday in order to bring over Dame. I don't know what the misstep was, but we're going to look back on this and try to figure out how in the world did the Milwaukee Bucks screw this up? This is the greatest player this franchise has had since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And now they might be in a position where they're forced to deal him away because the guy can't win when it matters in the playoffs.
Harsh criticism, but he's not wrong, Tausch. What do you make of that?
No, I think he is wrong. And listen, some of the stuff he's saying is accurate, but there comes some luck that goes into this. Now, could you say you could have traded Middleton a year earlier? Do you guys remember last year? The Indiana Pacers game when Middleton was healthy? You guys remember that? Now, it was a snapshot of it, so I can understand that. But sometimes luck is the determining factor in this. And the Bucks got a championship. They chased a bunch. They obviously the last 3 years hadn't worked. I don't blame them for making the Dame move. I advocated for it, and it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. So there's not like, you're not going to look back at this Bucks run and say the management really screwed this up. Now, you could say that this year and some of the coaching part of it, yes, but you're going to look at it and say, man, they won a championship. And I think that you can sometimes say, well, you should have won more. Well, yeah, of course. So we have the same conversation with the Green Bay Packers pretty regularly, but I'm not going to sit here and say, well, the Bucks, what else could they have done? You have to understand, you don't make that move and give up picks to get Drew Holiday. You don't even have one championship. So I'm not going to go down that road. I disagree with Canty on that. And I think Giannis is by far the greatest Buck. I don't even know if I'm going to put Kareem. I guess I'm not going to go there. Kareem is in that conversation. But Giannis is 2 tiers ahead of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when it comes to the Milwaukee Bucks.
All right. First of all, as a loyalist to Drew Holiday, I didn't like the trade at the time. I understood it, but I didn't like it. Not to the degree of the Ray Allen trade that I really didn't like and was a really bad idea.
Well, that was a brutal trade. That was bad. That was worse than this.
Yeah, no doubt. And look, I gotta be honest, I didn't realize how old Dame was. And now I'm starting to have a greater appreciation for that. I don't want to sound like Goody here, that we don't want old guys. But the fact that he'll be in his age 37 season by the time we likely see him again because of this ruptured Achilles, I don't like that at all. So that trade, it's worse than just not working out. It really went poorly, and you couldn't have predicted he was going to suffer that injury unless you say, like Goody likes to say, older players get injured more. That's why I don't want them.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, I understand that they just wanted to move on from Chris Middleton, but what indications do we have that Kyle Kuzma is any good at all?
That's fair.
So Chris Canty with some fair points. I hope Giannis just is willing to weather the storm because he's a loyal guy, and that somehow they hit the right combination and they will have a winning organization in 27-28.
Did you hear this?
Speaking of Damian Lillard, here is what Shanae Ogwumike, who is a WNBA star but also an ESPN NBA analyst, said on NBA Today the day following the Bucks' elimination, referencing Damian Lillard in her speculation on what Giannis will do next. This is interesting.
Giannis is an extremely loyal guy. He's a guy that you can see has made roots in Milwaukee and has built this franchise up after a period and also delivered a championship. I don't see anything truly indicating that he wants to go, but still you have to think, there's a cost to loyalty. Sometimes you look at your teammate Dame Lillard and maybe you think, okay, Dame, he was known as a loyal guy for so long. You don't want to wait too long before you make a decision to go elsewhere to maximize your competitive prime. Giannis is 30 years old. If the time were to be any time, it's right now to make a decision to go. But still, he's still showing signs that he cares dearly about Milwaukee.
Valid or off base, Tausch?
No, that's valid. I think he is an incredibly loyal guy. I thought the way he handled himself with that idiot dad coming up, you can't help but love Giannis. And normally, back in the old days, I would say he's under contract, tough break, we're going to do it. Giannis deserves to get what he wants. Now, is what he wants always best? I don't know how much say he's had with coaching decisions. I know you'd be crazy to not have input. But Giannis, if he gets to make this call, and I hope, and I think we all hope, that the call is let's build this thing up and let's go find a way to get another championship in Milwaukee, great. If he doesn't, I think he's earned the right to he gets to do what he wants to do. I think he's earned that right. So I hope that she is correct in her assessment. Definitely has loyalty, definitely has love for the city of Milwaukee and for the state, but he wants to win another championship. And if he feels like there's no chance, I get where he's coming from.
I always love it when someone says something that makes me think. which I wanted to say that rarely happens on this show, but that would be a lie, and that would just be taking a shot at Tausch for no reason. That made me think, because Damian Lillard was very loyal to Portland for a very long time. He was Mr. Portland Trailblazer, right? Even more so than Clyde the Glide Drexler. I think she makes a very good point. I still believe that Giannis's loyalty will ultimately win out. And I hate to agree with Steve.
What makes you think that? What makes you think that?
Well, as she pointed out there, I have not, and sometimes maybe below the surface things are vastly different, but I feel like he would have done or said things by now that would show cracks in the foundation of him being committed to Milwaukee. Like he would have slipped up in some way and said something that you went, ooh, he's thinking about leaving. And it's hard to be perfect, right, when you talk as frequently as he does. So I just, if I had breadcrumbs, some might say, of him having hinted at that he might want to leave, I'd feel less hopeful. But I choose to believe until he's playing for the Knicks or whoever it ends up being. Whoa, Nelly.
Did you hear this?
Whoa, Nelly's coming up next.
I
One
know.
more here from Brian Windhorst on First Take earlier this week. When Windy speaks, you can put the fingers up in the air. What's he saying? Interesting nugget here from Windy.
In the last 10 playoff games Giannis has played in, he has averaged 30 points, 15 rebounds, and 6 assists. Last night he had 30, 20, and 13, and they're 1-9 in those games. It's devastating. And he has done nothing this year but focus on this season. There's been no whispers out there. There's been nobody in that organization who've been like, wow, he may not want to be here. If you call his agent and say you want to talk about it, he will shut you down. Okay? He has been focused on this season. But how can you ignore that? How can you ignore 3 straight first-round exits and knowing that Dame Lillard is potentially going to be out for most of, if not all of next season? It's not his fault, but that's just reality.
That one hurt when I heard it this week, Tausch.
What hurt about it?
Just 1-9.
How good he's been.
1-9, despite how good he's been in those playoff games that he's played in. Like we talk about the injury curse for Wisconsin sports teams, and especially the Bucks since they won the finals, and how they've always had somebody hurt. And you hear that, and you're like, man, Giannis is really carrying everything, and they still can't get it done in the first round. This isn't even like they're playing the Celtics in the conference finals or the conference semi. Like the first round. They were a 1 seed a couple of years ago. They were favored last year against the Pacers. Hurts,
don't it?
Yeah, I understand why everybody is feeling the way they are, and there's going to be some uncertainty. But all we ask for from our athletes, especially our stars, is to give it everything that they got. Giannis has done that, and he has not, for whatever reason, if it's not getting guys involved or how you finish games up, we haven't figured the formula out with this new era. Once Dame got here, the thought was Dame was going to be your closer. Giannis would get you there. And that has not gotten to fruition because of injuries on both sides of it. So sometimes in life, things just don't work out the way you hope, and you have to adjust and make alternative plans. And when you're in the NBA and you make these big investments, it is really difficult. If one of your key pieces isn't able to do it, it makes the hill that much taller to climb. And I think that's the scenario we're in. It does make me sad when I hear what Wendy said there, though.
Yeah, and let's not lose sight of the fact that he missed 6 games in the playoffs last year with a calf injury. He didn't play at all, and they lost that series. He overcame what looked like a catastrophic knee injury during their playoff run to the title in 21. I am sad that they have been so incredibly unfortunate on the injury front. If it's not him missing time, it was Chris missing time. If it wasn't him or Chris missing time, now it's Damian Lillard rupturing his Achilles. And don't forget, Damian Lillard was hurt last year toward the end of the playoff run, right? Didn't he miss the last couple of games of that series as well? It just makes you wonder what if. But like Tausch said, sometimes things don't work out the way you planned. And speaking of that, sometimes bad things happen to good people. You're in an accident. You're seriously injured. I hope it never happens, but if it does, make the call. One call, that's all. Gruber Law Offices, 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666, or go to the website, gruber-law.com. More Wilde and Tausch. Whoa, Nelly is next, so stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Jesse Nelson, and it is Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison, and it's brought to you by Pizza Hut. Caller number 7 right now at 844-770-3776. Caller 7 wins free pizza from Pizza Hut. Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut. Tausch tells you that all the time. Pizza Hut's fan-favorite Cheesy Bites pizza is back for just $13.99. What a deal. Get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites, plus the new Ranch Lovers Flight with ultimate Chipotle and pepperoni ranch dips. One large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Head over to pizzahut.com or select Pizza Hut locations to enjoy your own Free Food Friday. Right now, caller 7, 844-770-3776 wins Free Food Friday, courtesy of Pizza Hut on ESPN Madison. Free Food Friday with our friends at Pizza Hut. Remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Join me, Hunter Vaughn, and the Dean Dennis Summerall this Saturday at 9 a.m. We react to the huge news of the WIAA voting to allow name, image, and likeness at the high school level. Plus, the Dean and I recap the week that was for area schools as the postseason is just a few weeks away. All that and more this Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on 100.5 ESPN and the new ESPN Wisconsin app.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
This is Kyle Brusson-Nortman's Brad Nortman. You hear me talk about Carbless and their refreshing flavors all the time. One of my favorites is watermelon, and Carbless just dropped the Watermelon Vodka Cocktail 4-pack. Perfect for chilling, grilling, or game day thrills. You know the drill. Zero sugar, unlimited flavor. Enjoy clean, crisp refreshment without the guilt. That's what Carbless does. Find the new Watermelon 4-packs wherever you get your Carbless. Crack open the taste of summer and get your bliss on.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur with Wilde and Tausch.
The thing I love about Jordan is he is steady. There's not a guy in our locker room that does not respect the work that he puts in.
Find the full interview available exclusively on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wilde and Tausch rolls on with that flattering photo of a smiling Tausch on the sideline because he is in parts unknown.
Yeah, I love that photo.
It is a great picture. Do we know who took that?
I don't, but whoever did, kudos to them.
Vern Beaver.
The Beaver.
You look very happy. You're very handsome in that photo.
Thanks.
And time now for another handsome fellow, Jesse Nelson, to take over the program with Bo Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocco's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
Boo! A boo! Not the bubbler. The bubbler's great. We're not booing
Love the bubbler.
We're booing
love
Craig Counsell tonight, fellas. We're booing him. Brewers Cubs, year 2.
Wait, are you going?
I wanted to, but I don't have anyone to go with me.
You have 18 tiers of friends.
Yeah,
you couldn't find one person to go boo.
What about like Mike the DJ?
Nah,
Or
well,
why
I
don't
didn't, I didn't ask Mike. He's needy. He always wants me to buy him stuff.
We should have probably contested this. If this was something you wanted to do,
Yeah,
this would have
well,
been a fun thing for you to take a fan to.
It came together late because we have the big Wisconsin Broadcasters Awards Gala is tomorrow night. And I'm going to that instead of going up and getting the cabin ready for the summer. Everyone else in the family is going up and getting the cabin ready. It's the work weekend. So everybody close to home is heading up there.
Shocking that it's work weekend.
I found a way out of work, yeah.
Mysteriously have something to do.
Gotta go get wined and dined and win awards again, maybe.
What? Not that I would go anyway, but how do you get included in the group that gets to go to this? What makes you worthy of a seat at the table?
Good question.
Thank you.
I've been nominated for things the last several years.
Have we?
Well, yes.
I think the producer has to nominate you, or you have to put stuff in to get nominated. I'm guessing if Jesse's putting stuff up, it's going to be Bullstream TV. He wants to win his own award. That's my hunch.
The award we're up for this year for best radio play-by-play is for the Wisconsin Badgers volleyball broadcast, featuring, of course, John Audius, the Hall of Famer Pete Waite, producer Hunter Vaughn, and yours truly in the studio. We are nominated for best sports play-by-play this year, so that's what we're hoping to bring home some hardware for on Saturday night. Thank you. So yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to be sitting at home watching the Brewers game, but it's
booing your television.
But it's on Apple TV tonight.
Oh God.
So a public service announcement. I've been sharing it throughout SportsCenter updates throughout the day on ESPN Madison. But if you are unaware, you are not going to be able to watch tonight's game on FanDuel Sports Wisconsin. It is exclusively on Apple TV Plus. And if you don't have that, of course, you can listen to 620 WTMJ, 100.5 ESPN Madison, or the Brewers Radio Network, wherever you can catch the Brewers.
Can I make a recommendation for Major League Baseball?
Of course.
Please do.
Major League Baseball needs to be the first sport to go all in on Netflix. Every game on Netflix. Local, you still get your FanDuel Sports Network. Everything else, put it on Netflix. You have to start growing your game. You can't do what the NFL does. Sorry, you're not the NFL. I would love to be a model. I'd love to work for Calvin Klein. Not going to happen. You have to know where you're at in life.
I want to be a banker.
Major League Baseball isn't the NFL. They can't make packages up out of nowhere. Sell everything to Netflix. Figure out your local sports. Do the radio. Netflix, here you go. Start telling stories with documentaries and then trigger that to the games. You see what it did for F1 racing. Baseball has a lot of youth and influence, and the YouTube show, all of that stuff. They need to lean into it. And if they want to grow, this is the road. Don't be piecemealing it. Oh, I'm going to give here and I'm going to do this. ESPN just said, we're not going to go into business with you moving forward after this year. You need to be the pioneer and say, you know what? Man, we love linear TV. That's all great. It is time. Let's go. And I'm just doing them a public service. They won't listen, but that's what they should do.
I'm not sure I agree with that assessment. I would say that there are a lot of games, which is one of the differences with the NFL, and I think they are.
You know what
trying...
Netflix has a lot of, Jason?
Movies.
What do they have a lot of, Tausch?
Documentaries, movies, TV shows. And you know what they also have? Oh, I can click on that whenever I want. Bing, bang. And it could change the whole narrative. It could. You know, live sports is king, no doubt about it. But when you grab that live, all of a sudden that could change and help you actually grow your model.
I'm surprised that a savvy businessman with a diversified portfolio would suggest going all in on streaming only.
I hate
and putting
to say
all
this.
their eggs in that basket. That
so Jason,
seems
I hate to say this,
perilous.
The old days where you sit around and, hey, Jesse, let's turn on the telly at 7 p.m. and watch a Brewers game on a
Just because
Friday
that's
night.
not what you do doesn't
No.
like we're not
Jason,
Brewers fans.
Jason, here's the deal. I am a Brewers fan. Don't tell me I'm not.
How many games have you watched this season?
I've watched a couple, and I'm going to be going to a bunch of games. I go to games.
You stand with your back to the field talking to people.
I'm not
making
sitting here.
deals.
He watches a little bit.
I'm not sitting here telling you I'm Benny Brewer, okay? I'm not. I love the Brewers. I want them to win a championship.
Bernie's little-known brother, Benny.
You don't know. I had a kid on my team. We called him Benny Brewer. He wore all Brewers gear, so I wasn't referring to
Was he
Bernie
Jesse?
Brewer. I was referring to a kid on my youth Little League team called Benny Brewer.
Benny Brewer.
So check yourself before I wreck you. The bottom line
That
is...
seems aggressive.
Well, you guys were just aggressive. I wasn't the one being aggressive.
We thought you just said Bernie wrong.
No,
Sorry,
I said
we didn't
Benny
know. We didn't know. We didn't know.
Totally on us that you didn't. We didn't
it's
know
about
that you had
to-
a little league teammate in the late '80s who
No, it
was
wasn't. I was
Betty
coaching
Brewer.
him a
As I
couple
said
of years
earlier.
ago. What were we even? Bottom line is, somebody is going to do
Whoa,
this.
Nelly.
UFC is going to do it. I think baseball needs to make it because for as much as I like having access to watching a show on the telly, everybody younger than me does not.
You're the
That is
same
not-
guy who complains about trying to navigate between regular over-the-air television programming and streaming, and it's not all
Jason,
streamlined on your television.
You're proving my point. Exactly.
I'm sure I am. Yes.
Let's just move it along and say this is where it's going.
I agree
I'm
with
not-
let's move it along. That's
I'm
for
not
sure.
going to sit here and tell. So Netflix is big enough, they're strong enough, and gosh darn it, they
People
can be
watch it.
that provider that will give major. And the thing you're missing, Jason.
Please
is,
tell
I'm not
me.
I'm not being condescending here.
Yes, you are.
The thing
If you have to say, I'm not being
Entirely condescending.
You're being condescending.
You know what they have on Netflix?
Okay. Let me know when you guys are done. Are you done?
Yeah, we're done.
I'm not
All right.
interrupting.
The F1 racing formula. I didn't know anything about it. People, it's a niche sport. They put this documentary out on Netflix, and it blows up into blue. They get a big TV deal. Major League Baseball has
Whoa,
been looking.
wait, what? They got a TV deal?
Yeah.
On what?
They got a deal. They got a deal with like ESPN or something. I don't know.
So they use Netflix documentary to get a deal on over-the-air cable television?
Well, and also on stream on ESPN Plus and all the other stuff. So,
But they're niche sports.
do you not understand that? Do you not understand that Netflix is going to end up having its own TV channel too? Do you not see this coming? Like, do you not get this?
No.
Well,
I don't.
Nelly,
I don't
I feel
see
like
it.
you guys. You know what? I'm not going to sit here and show you a vision on something visionary when you guys got your blinders on. I don't want to sit here and pound my head against the wall till you guys see the vision. I feel like you're just mocking me, which is fine. I'm a big boy. I can take it.
We're not mocking you. You're not
You're
condescending to
definitely
us, and we're
mocking
not
me.
mocking you.
Fair enough. Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
feel bad. I wanted to get to my brother-in-law's text
We
this
got time
morning.
for one
I
more.
promised
Let's do
him.
a quick one. We got time.
My brother-in-law Chris texted this morning in a group text, maybe when Jesse watches his first NHL playoff game tonight, he'll realize playoff hockey is the best playoffs in sports, as they will talk about it on the radio. He is a Winnipeg Jets fan. Big game against the St. Louis Blues tonight, Game 6, I believe, of their
Jets,
series.
Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, hockey is a niche sport.
They should put it on Netflix.
Actually, that's pretty funny. And actually they should, and they should put some documentaries out to get people You know what's funny about this? You are the target demo for what I'm talking about. Hey, let's get somebody. I'm not gonna say idiot. Let's get somebody hooked on a storyline and get him hooked on. Oh my God, did you know that this dude had this happen to him, and they are now doing this? Oh, I have to watch the Blues Jets tonight because I know this storyline now. That is you to a T.
I am not watching 162 games because of it, though. F1 only has a finite number of races. Again,
You'll
the
watch
NFL,
more than zero.
Oh, sure, I'm sure I would. I agree, but
Jason, you can't climb Mount Everest without taking 2 steps. Okay.
And cleaning up after yourself because there's so much garbage. All right, Tausch, tell us
of poop
about Prize Picks. Apparently, if the Brewers game tonight wasn't on Apple TV, you might be doing some Prize Picks, but instead you'll have to find something else like the Winnipeg Jets.
First inning runs. Oh, you got all the strikeouts. There's so much fun stuff on Prize Picks. The best place to turn your sports knowledge into cash, and with millions of members, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to everybody, and it's simple. Pick more or less on 2 players for a shot to win. Used to be 1,000 times. It's up to 2,000 times your cash. You can run your game all season long on Prize Picks. You got the playoffs. Jesse just mentioned NHL playoffs. You got NBA. You got UFL. You got everything that you're looking for. Jump on in. Download the app today. Use code WI. And you get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI to get $50 instantly after you play that first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
We wrap up the week and wrap up the show with a special Feel Good Friday painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. That's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Mother's Day is almost here, and I've been thinking a lot about all the times my mom went out of her way just to make me happy. Honestly, I've lost count. All of the pickups from practice, help with the homework, the home-cooked meals. My mom is the best. That's why this year I'm returning the favor with the bouquet from the Books Company. And I got you 25% off of your order so you can send some happiness to your moms, too. Books aren't just any flowers. Their flowers are cut fresh from the best farms, so they're bigger, brighter, and last way longer. Some are even grown on the side of a volcano. Wow mom with a bright, happy bouquet, or go for the Books Flower subscription so she can get fresh blooms and major joy on repeat. It's also really easy. I pick my bouquet, delivery date, and done. And with 25% off, why stop with mom? Grab some for your wife, your auntie, and even grandma too. Mother's Day is May 11th, so hurry and order your Books now. Go to Books.com, use promo code CANTY to get 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code CANTY. Books, promo code CANTY.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Madison Axe. Enjoy axe throwing, craft beers, bags, shuffleboarding, and more fun at Madison's state-of-the-art entertainment spot. Visit MadisonAxe.com or head to their location on Stoughton Road today. Wisconsin men's hoops bringing on senior Braden Carrington. The Minnesotan spending his first 2 seasons with the Golden Gophers, while his most recent came at Tulsa. The guard averaged just over 7 points per contest, along with roughly 5 boards a game. Greg Gard saying Carrington brings, quote, a level of maturity and understanding of the Big Ten that is crucial in today's landscape. Carrington, the 4th transfer Gard brings along for next season. The Badgers with the 6th best ranked transfer class, according to On3 Sports.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, it's Nikias Duncan joining Marcus and Chris to talk playoffs. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Metro Kia of Madison is Madison's trusted Kia dealership, and they are home to the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. If you're looking to purchase, finance, or service your vehicle, Metro Kia of Madison is the place to go. As always, at Metro Kia of Madison, you can enjoy 2 years of no-charge maintenance on any new vehicle. Browse their inventory and find this month's special at MetroKiaofMadison.com. That's MetroKiaofMadison.com. Find your new vehicle at your trusted Kia dealership today.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Outside Decker, it's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop step, that's his favorite. And the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at UWHoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
You gotta get down on Friday. It's time to finish the week off right. It's Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay.
Born and raised under the rain and a western wind, felt the way.
We wrap up the week and today's show with Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. And this one is a special one, Tausch. I turn the floor over to you to talk about your sister.
Yeah, it's been a tough stretch for me and my family. We lost my sister, and it's been tough, but I, was having a hard time trying to figure out when and how to talk about it on the show, because she's been, battling things for a long time, and we had her funeral and some of the things, and I just wanted to honor her because she's older than me, and she was perseverance to a T. She had so many different things that she had to battle and deal with that you can't even fathom. And for her to carry on and compete, getting up off the floor and getting up, just doing what she needed to do to keep going. There's nothing she loved more than to ring the Salvation Army bell when she had to stop working a few years ago. That was her passion. And she got honored in 2017 with the Bell Ringer of the Year for the Salvation Army. So it's been a really sad, difficult stretch for us, and having her going to the funeral and having all of her friends show up and tell us about the impact that was made from her life was really rewarding to our family. And she was the best. She was the best, and I love her. We're going to miss her, and I really just want to illustrate how tough she was from all of us. And played football, all of this stuff. She was by far the toughest cat in our family, and we're going to miss her a lot. And I just wanted to give her, she loved whenever she could, she just wanted to talk Packers football with me. And she loved seeing my success, and we're going to miss her a lot. And that's, I know it's not the happiest Feel Good Friday, but it was something I've been trying to figure out how to talk about on air without, being really sad. And to see all of the people that were just moved by what she did in her life, it brought a lot of joy to us. So, Chrissy, we're going to miss you.
Well, you honored her beautifully there, and we certainly are supportive of you and your family. You know how much we care about you and your family, and you told Jesse and I last week about this, and I'm glad you had the opportunity to share that, because that was a beautiful tribute. That is it for us this week. We will be back next week. Now, you'll be gone Monday, Tuesday in Vegas for the big fundraising golf thing?
Yeah, and I was trying to. Obviously, Monday is a full day. I can't. Tuesday, if you remember last year, we had rattlesnakes and we had birds. I'm going to jump on at some point on Tuesday, I think, and showcase where we're at again, because I think we had a lot of fun with that. But yes, this is, and I know people, hey, man, you living it up a little bit.
Well, you're only going for 2 days, not like Sonoma for 3 months.
Well, we'll see, right? You just never know how things will play itself out.
We'll talk Raiders.
What happens
on
in
Monday.
Vegas?
Yeah, we'll break down the Golden Knights now that it's on Netflix, and Jesse is a big fan.
It's a niche sport. All right, that's it for us today. We will do it again on Monday. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Have a great day. Miss any of today's episode of